In this free course, I'm going to show you exactly how to get SMMA clients with paid ads so you can build a 6 or 7-figure agency this year. In fact, in this free course, I'm going to give you the exact copy and paste ads and funnels that I used to build a 7-figure agency and generate over 3,000 appointments in the past 24 months alone. And for context, I've spent over $200,000 of my own money in the past 2 years testing this advertising system, and what I'm going to share with you in this course is what actually worked for me. So that way you can fast track your progress and get more clients than you know what to do with. And I could easily charge thousands of dollars for this course, just like all the other gurus on the internet, but I'm going to give it to you 100% free because I want to make sure you have all the information you need to build a successful agency this year. So with that being said, get a pen and paper handy and let's dive into the course. All right, welcome to the How to Get SMMA Clients with Paid Ads course. Super excited to have you in here because the objective of this course is to help you build out an advertising system that gets you predictable clients for your SMMA. So if you never want to struggle about where your next client's going to come from, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that in this course. And now I want to go over why I'm qualified to teach you on how to run ads to get SMMA clients. So the first thing is I used paid ads to build a 7-figure agency. You can see this is me holding the 2 Comma Club award from ClickFunnels when you make over $1 million. The next thing is I spent over $260,000 in the past 2 years of my own money running ads to get clients for my agency. Not a lot of people have done that. And the next thing is I've generated over 3,000 appointments from these paid ads. You can see this is my Calendly account here displaying over 3,600 appointments. And I did this using paid ads. There's not a lot of people who've actually done that for their SMMA. And on top of that, I've worked with some of the biggest brands in the world to help them with their marketing and advertising. I've worked with Inc. 5000 companies like Rudy Moore and Lemon Light Media. I've worked with Agency Mavericks. I've worked with celebrities like Zach Perna, who has over 1 million followers and subscribers. So I know my stuff when it comes to paid ads. I've been doing it for a while. So now let's go over what we're going to cover in this course. So lesson number 1, we're going to go over the paid ad strategy and the use case. So you know at a high level how paid ads work and when to use it. Then in lesson number 2, we're going to go over high converting ads. And I'm going to give you an overview of what makes a high converting ad that can scale. Then in lesson number 3, we're going to go over creating your ad copy. And I'm going to give you the exact ad script that I used to create an ad that I scaled past $3,000 per day profitably. And you can pretty much copy that. Then in lesson number 4, we're going to go over creating your ad creative. And I'm going to give you a proven video ad script that absolutely crushes it. And I've used it for countless of my clients as well that you can use. Then in lesson number 5, we're going to go over creating your funnel. And I'm going to give you a copy and paste funnel that you can use for your agency that I use to book over 500 meetings a month. Then in lesson number 6, we're going to go over creating your targeting. And I'm going to show you step by step how to make sure your ad gets in front of the right people in your niche who are going to book appointments with you and then convert into clients. Then in lesson number 7, we're going to go over setting your targets and your KPIs, because before we launch ads, we need to make sure you understand what metrics and targets you're aiming for. Then in lesson number 8, we're going to go over setting up your ad account. And I'm just going to break down how to set up your ad account correctly so you don't get banned and run into those issues. Then in lesson number 9, we're going to go over launching your campaigns. So this is where we set up your campaigns and press launch and things go live. Then in lesson number 10, we're going to go over assessing your campaign results. So after you launch your campaigns, I'm going to walk you through step by step what to do and assess your next steps so you're never lost. Then in lesson 11, we're going to go over optimizing your ad campaigns. And this is one of my favorite lessons because if your ad campaigns aren't working, we have a step-by-step checklist and tools so you always know how to fix any ad campaign that isn't profitable and performing so you can turn it around and get it converting. Then in lesson number 12, we're going to go over scaling your ad campaigns. And I'm going to break down the scaling strategy that I used to take an ad from like $100 a day in spend to over $3,000 per day in spend in a few months. So that's what we're going to cover in the course. There's a lot to cover. So now let's go over how to maximize your results, because if you're watching this, you want to get the best results possible. So the first thing is click the link in the description or the pinned comment to get the course notes that go along with this. It's about 30 plus pages that has all the notes in this free course. So make sure to download that. It's 100% free. Go get that. Then the second thing is commit to watching this course in full and follow the lessons one by one. It's meant to be followed one by one. Don't skip around. And if you're serious about making your ads work, watch the course in full. Like this course for me, this information was worth millions of dollars for me. So make sure you follow it and watch it in full. The third thing is embrace overwhelm, because as you're going through this, you might feel overwhelmed, and that's normal. That's a sign of growth. So embrace that. And again, every step of this course, we have resources provided to make things simple. Then the next thing is implement quickly. Every single lesson has an action item attached that I want you to complete. So make sure to complete those action items, because motion beats meditation. Don't overthink things, just get in motion. And then finally, ask any comments in the comment section. I'm going to try my best to personally answer all of your questions, and there's no such thing as a dumb question. If it's on your mind, other people likely have that question as well. So make sure to ask any questions in the section below. So with that being said, let's dive into the course. All right, in this lesson, we're going to go over the paid ad strategy at a high level and when to use it. So let's start by defining what paid ads are. And what paid ads are is paying platforms like Facebook and Instagram to show ads that present your offer to your ideal clients. Now in this course, we're going to cover Facebook and Instagram ads specifically because it's the easiest platform that I used, and it's the best platform to get clients, in my opinion, for your agency. Now in terms of the paid ad sales process, like what it looks like from click to close, this is what the process looks like. So the first step is someone sees your ad on social media. Then if that ad catches their attention, they click on that ad. Once they click on your ad, they then leave social media and land on your funnel and website. Then if your funnel and website is designed and laid out well and presents your offer in a compelling way, they then book a meeting with you. Then on that meeting, that's your sales call, and then you convert them into a paying client. So that's the sales process from click to close. They see an ad, they click on it, they land on your funnel, they book a meeting, and then you close them into a client. Now, in terms of when I recommend to use paid ads, the first thing is I recommend you have at least $50 per day in ad spend at minimum, ideally over $100 per day, but minimum of $50 per day. If you have less than that, you're just not going to be able to test ads efficiently. The second thing is have at least 3 good case studies in your niche, because if you don't have case studies because you're running cold ads, people are going to judge you. So you need to make sure you have social proof and case studies to back up that you know how to deliver results. The third thing is you need to have a strong guarantee and risk reversal, because if you don't have a good guarantee that reduces risk for someone to actually work with you and give you money, they're likely going to pick another agency that does have a guarantee, because you're likely competing with other agencies in your niche that do have a guarantee. So if you don't have one, it's going to be much harder for you to get that client. The fourth thing is you need to have some sales confidence, because if you're going to go spend money on ads and you don't have sales confidence, you're likely going to lose money. So I highly recommend you prove out your sales process first and you have some confidence in your sales ability before you go to paid ads. Now, in terms of pricing, if you're selling monthly services, your monthly service package has to be at least $1,500 per month to make your ads work economically. Anything less than that, it's just going to be hard for you to be profitable on ads. If you're selling one-off services, you need to be selling a minimum $2,500 package. Anything less than that, it's just hard for you to get your ads to be profitable. So again, you need to be within these ranges. If you're selling a monthly service, $1,500 per month minimum. If you're selling a one-off service, $2,500 per month minimum. The higher, the better. It's going to be easier for you to make your ads work economically if you have a higher price. Now, the pros with paid ads is the first thing is there's high leverage. This is why I love paid ads, because I truly believe you only need one ad and one good funnel to scale and get as many clients as you want. Like I had one ad and one funnel that I used to scale over $100,000 per month. The next thing is you can get results very fast using paid ads. Like you can put up an ad in 24 hours and start getting meetings the next day. So it's very fast. It's a quick feedback loop. And the third thing is it's predictable and scalable. Once you get your ads working, you're gonna know down to the dollar how much it costs you to get a meeting, how much it costs you to get a client. Like once you run ads, let's say that you know your cost to acquire a client is $1,000. If you want 5 clients that month, you need to spend $5,000. It just becomes a big math equation and you never have to struggle about where your next client's gonna come from. The cons with paid ads is you're gonna lose money before making money. Like before you actually get a client, you're gonna be in the hole spending money. So you have to embrace that. You're going to lose money before making money. The second con is you can get restricted. You can get your ad account banned. I'm going to show over the best practices to make sure that doesn't happen. But this has happened to pretty much everyone I know where their ad account gets banned, but there's different ways to go over it, which I'm going to show you in this course. And the third thing is there's testing and iteration required. It's unlikely your first ad is going to be a home run. If you go through this, you're going to have a much higher chance of having a winning ad and funnel that can scale, but there's typically some testing and iteration that's required before your ads can really start scaling, because the way you have to think about paid ads, it's almost like a machine that can generate you cash flow and money at will. So it takes time to be able to pick the code to get it working properly. Now, in terms of how to succeed with paid ads, this is the most important piece, so pay attention. If you want to succeed with paid ads, the first thing is you need to allocate a monthly budget that you're unattached to. So ads are a long-term strategy that's refined over time. It's not super immediate. You can get results right away, but you want to come in with the mindset that you're in it for the long term. So what I recommend is have an ad budget set aside each month that you're comfortable spending and unattached to that's a minimum of $1,500 a month. Like, the biggest mistake you can make when it comes to running your ads is if you stop running them, you throw in the towel and you quit. The people that I see that succeed with ads is they have a budget set aside that they're unattached to. If they lose that money, they're not going to be homeless or anything like that. That is the mindset you want to be with your ads. You want to have a budget that you're unattached to, so that way you can play the game, have enough iterations to find that winning ad and funnel, because once you do, you can get as many clients as you want. The second thing is don't expect a home run right out the gate. Like I mentioned earlier, it's likely that your first ad isn't going to be a home run. You need to understand it takes tests and iterations to be able to pick the lock and find that combinations of your ad and funnel that converts. So don't throw in the towel when things don't work or think ads are a scam. Like, ads work. It's worked for hundreds and thousands of different businesses. You just need to make sure you stick with it. The third thing is separate data from drama. So this is massive. So decisions, you need to make sure the decisions you make are from the data and not your feelings. Like, a big mistake I see people make is they just make all their decisions on their ads based on their emotions. Like, if they have one bad day or they see that their calendar doesn't get appointments that day, they think automatically their ads aren't performing and they panic, turn off their campaigns. You don't want to do that. Instead, you only want to make decisions based off the data, and I'm going to show you how to do that in the course. And the other thing is, we aim to get a minimum viable offer. Then you want to test the offer and make adjustments from the data and test again. And then you want to refine that process. So that is how you want to look at ads. You want to look at it kind of like a math equation where you're testing ads, you're getting the data and feedback from those ads. And if they're not performing, you're going to look at the data, see what's off, then fix it, then try again. If your ads are performing, you're going to look at the data, you're going to see it's performing, and then scale it up. Again, we're going to go more detail in that in the course. And then finally, speed is your friend. One of the biggest traits that I've seen with people who have success with paid ads is they aim for speed and market validation. They don't overthink things. They don't spend 6 months creating some high quality paid ad. They pretty much test ads very quickly, and they test their funnel fast because you can get that feedback from your ads quickly. So you don't want to overthink things or spend months or years trying to create the perfect ad. Instead, aim for speed, create your ads and your funnels quickly, get live feedback from the market, and then make adjustments from there. If you do that, you're going to get results much faster. So speed is your friend. So that is a high level overview of paid ads, what the process looks like, when to use it, the pros and the cons, and how to succeed. So now that we've gone through that, I'm going to see you in the next lesson. All right, in this lesson, we're going to go over the fundamentals of high converting ads. So let's dive right into it, and we'll start with the objective of your ads. And the whole point of an ad is to get your ideal client to stop scrolling on the social media platform that they're on and click with intent onto your funnel. So this is very important to understand. Your ad is not responsible for directly selling your product. The only job of the ad is to get your ideal client to stop scrolling on the social media platform that they're on and get them to click with interest to your funnel. The point of your funnel and the job of your funnel is to convert that click into a booked meeting, and then you're going to convert them into a paying client. So you want to think of the ad, the whole job of the ad is to get the click with intent, because once they click with intent, now it's up to your funnel to convert that click into a paying client. And I'm going to show you how to do that. Don't worry, later on in this course. But for now, just really understand the job of an ad is to get your ideal client to stop scrolling and get them to click with intent. That is very important. Now, in terms of the 3 layers of an ad, every good ad has 3 layers. So the first layer is the creative. So this is the image or video that catches their attention, your ideal client, and stops their scroll. Because the first thing they're going to see when they're scrolling through Facebook or Instagram or whatever platform they're on is going to be the creative. So that is the image or the video. That's what stops their scroll and gets their attention. Then once their scroll is stopped from the creative, they then look at the headline underneath, typically. And the headline underneath is what's highlighted at red here in the bottom that says guaranteed 10x ROI in this ad. So they stop their scroll at the creative, then they quickly glance at this headline, typically, right? Because once they look at the headline is the text underneath the ad copy that catches the reader's attention and lures them to read the rest of the ad copy. So if we stop their scroll at the creative, they glance at the headline, and if the headline is good and it catches their curiosity, they're then going to read the rest of the ad copy. And the ad copy is the final layer of the ad. This is the ad copy is the written text that gives them more information and pushes them to click on your ad. So your ad copy is this first chunk of text up top. That is the I'll keep it short. If you're looking to scale your company, we guarantee a 10x ROI. So this is the bulk of your text. But I really want you to look at these 3 layers as a slippery slide where someone's scrolling through, let's say Instagram, they're just scrolling through their feed, and the first thing that happens is they see your creative. And if the creative, whether that's an image or video, catches their attention and stops their scroll, that's step number 1. Then once their scroll is stopped, they'll check out your headline. And then if the headline catches their curiosity and lures them in, they'll then read the rest of your ad copy. And if the ad copy is good, they then click on your ad and then enter your funnel. Now they don't always follow the structure. Typically they might look at the creative and maybe they'll just watch the creative directly and then click learn more. But I always view my ads in these 3 layers and look, my job of my creative, stop the scroll. The job of my headline is to lure them in, and the point of my ad copy is to build desire and get them to then click and enter my funnel. So those are the 3 layers of an ad. So make sure to understand these 3 components because that's what we're going to be building. So now that you know the 3 layers, let's go quickly over what makes a good ad. And there's really only 5 components you need to get right that I'm always thinking about with an ad. So the first thing is it needs to clearly call out the target market and ideal customer that you're going after. It needs to be very clear who the ad is going after. Now you can see in my ad here, I was going pretty broad and I just said, I'll keep it short. If you're looking to scale your company, we guarantee a 10x ROI working with us. So who I'm going after is people looking to scale their company. So I called that out right in the beginning. The next thing is it needs to clearly state a solution to a problem they face or a deep desire they want. Because once you lure them in and you've called out the ideal customer, we then need to quickly state how we can solve a problem or give them a deep desire that they want. So the deep desire that I'm hitting here is I'm saying, hey, if you're looking to scale your company, we guarantee a 10x ROI. That is a deep desire they want, is they want to scale their company. That is the desire that I'm hitting. The third thing is you need to present an irresistible offer. If you have a good offer, ads act as basically steroids for a good offer because you can get it in front of so many of your ideal clients. And that's what I'm stating right here. We guarantee a 10x ROI working with us. So for every $1 you pay us, you get $10 back. I'm stating my irresistible offer. The fourth thing is it clearly states the benefits and features of the product. Now you can't see this in this ad here because there's more text, but in this ad I talk about more of the benefits where I'm saying, so for every $1 you pay us, we give you $10 back. And the best part is you pay nothing out of pocket to get started. We only get compensated on the additional revenue we bring into your company. So I'm stating the benefits and the features of the product, and you want to state that in your ad. And again, we have frameworks for this that I'm going to go over. I'm just giving you a high level overview right now. And then the final thing is there's a clear call to action. So you want in your ad copy a clear call to action that says something like, if you like this ad, click the link below to get the full details and we can set up a time. Like there's very clear next steps that we want the reader to take and click on. It's just a very clear call to action, but this is what makes a good ad. You clearly call out the target market and ideal customer. If you're going after chiropractors, you're calling out chiropractors. It clearly states a solution to a problem they face or a deep desire that they want. Let's say chiropractors are struggling to get new patients. You are saying that. If you're a chiropractor struggling to get new patients, right? You're calling that out. You're stating a problem they face. Then you present an irresistible offer that they want. So if you could say, attention chiropractors, if you're struggling to get new patients into your clinic, we guarantee 30 new patients in 30 days or you don't pay, right? Presenting an irresistible offer. Then you clearly state the benefits and features of the product and you have a clear call to action. Those are the key components that you always want to look at with your ads. And again, we're going to go over how to write these ads, so don't worry, but these are the key components. So now that you know the components of a good ad and really a lot of the fundamentals, next up, we're going to go over creating your ad copy. So that being said, I'll see you in the next lesson. All right, in this lesson, we're going to go over creating your ad copy. And your ad copy consists of two components. The first component is your body copy, and the second component is your headline. And what your body copy is your main chunk of text. That is this first section here that's highlighted in red that says, I'll keep it short. If you're looking to scale your company, we guarantee a 10x ROI working with us, and it has some more text underneath it. That is your body copy. The second chunk of text is your headline, and this is typically one sentence that lures and intrigues the reader, that in this case says guaranteed 10x ROI. In this video, we're going to cover both your body copy and your headline. So let's start by writing our body copy because this is the main chunk of text in our ad. And what we're going to use is we're going to use a 5-step ad copy framework. This is the framework I've used for all of my highest converting ads, and this is the framework I use for most of our clients as well that has always gotten the best results. So all you have to do is model this for your offer. So it all starts with calling out the desired outcome or key problem. So the very first thing we need to do in our ad is call out the desired outcome or key problem or avatar faces. So in this case, I could say looking to scale your company. Or if I have a dental marketing agency that specializes in dentists, I could say looking for more dental patients, something like that. I am calling out the desired outcome or key problem because someone who's scrolling through, let's say their Instagram feed, that first little sentence that we have, if they resonate with it, they're going to want to read the rest of the message. So we want to call out the desired outcome or key problem. Then what we want to do is we want to state how our offer solves that problem or delivers the desired outcome. So in this case, I state, we guarantee a 10x ROI working with us. So right away, I'm stating how our offer solves this problem. If someone is looking to scale their company, I immediately say, we guarantee a 10x ROI working with us. Going back to that dental example, if I can say, looking to get more dental patients, we guarantee 30 new patients in 30 days, right? I'm stating how my offer solves that problem. So you want to do that. Then we want to explain the benefits of our offer. We want to expand the benefits that are associated. So here I'm saying, and by the way, this is the exact ad that I use to scale to over 100K per month. So I know this works. So I'm explaining the benefits of the offer. So for every $1 you pay us, we give you $10 back. And want to know the best part? We'll do it purely on results, meaning there's no upfront fees, there's no useless monthly retainers, none of that nonsense. We only get compensated on the additional revenue we bring into your company. And then I say, sound too good to be true, right? So I'm elaborating on these benefits right here. I'm saying, hey, you guaranteed a 10x ROI. There's no upfront fees. There's no useless monthly retainers. I'm expanding on the benefits. So in this section, you want to explain and expand the benefits of your offers. Really tug into that. Then what we need to do is we need to add social proof, because after we make a big claim like this and we make our irresistible offer, the first thing that's going to go on in someone's mind is, okay, but who have you done this in the past? What proof do you have to support this claim? That's what they're going to think. So to address that, we need to show that we've done this for other people just like them. So social proof here, I can say, then click like sound too good to be true, then click on this ad and let me back up everything I said. You'll see major 6, 7, and 8-figure brands who we work with to help scale up to the next level. So I'm calling that out because I know that's what's going on in their mind. They're wondering, who have I done this for? Because they're like, a guaranteed 10x ROI. This sounds too good to be true. So I'm backing this up with social proof saying, hey, sound too good to be true? Then click on this ad and let me back it up. You'll see major 6, 7, and 8-figure brands who we work with. So now I've addressed that concern in their mind. So you always need to have social proof. That's why one of the requirements is you need at least 3 case studies. Then we have our call to action. So this is where we clearly state what we want the reader to do next. So in this ad, I'll say, you'll also see a video that explains how we generate results and how we can work with you to scale your company purely on a results basis. If that sounds good to you, click the link below to get the full details. And if you like the idea, let's talk. So I'm clearly stating, if that sounds good to you, click below to get the full details. And if you like the idea, let's talk. So now the reader very clearly knows what I want them to do next. So that is the whole 5-step structure. Just a quick recap. We call out the desired outcome or key problem, looking to scale your company or need more dental patients. Then we state how our offer solves that problem. We guarantee a 10x ROI working with us, or we guarantee 30 new dental patients in the first 30 days. Then we explain the benefits of the offer. This is where we want to expand and really paint the picture of the benefits our service delivers. And in this ad, I'm talking about how we'll do it purely on results, no upfront fees, no monthly retainers, right? These are all benefits of my offer. Then I'm going to add social proof, because the first thing in their mind is, who have you done it for? How do I have evidence that you've done it for other people just like me? So then we state we've done it for clients, right? That click on this ad and let me back up what I said. You'll see major 6, 7, 8-figure brands who we've worked with. So I'm stating that social proof. Alternatively, another way you can do social proof as well is you could say, sound too good to be true. This is the same process we used for X client, and you could actually insert a testimonial. Like, this is the same process we used for Bob, who we helped go from $50K per month to $150K per month in 90 days. This is the process we used for Stevie, who we took from $100K per month to $1 million a month in 90 days, right? You can insert your case studies that way as well. And then we have our call to action, where we clearly state what we want the reader to do next. If that sounds good to you, click the link below to get the full details. And if you like the idea, let's talk. So all you really have to do when you're creating your body copy is just follow this framework and fill this in. And this structure is a proven winner. You just need to put it in. So that is the body copy. That takes care of this first section here. Now let's go over the headline. So the headline is the second chunk of text at the bottom that intrigues our reader. So the headline frameworks I like to use are really 3 key ones. One is an offer headline. The second one is a call out headline. And the third one is an outcome headline. So let's start with an offer headline. What an offer headline is where we just directly insert your offer in the headline. So my headline says guaranteed 10x ROI. That's my offer. You can see here it says guaranteed 10x ROI. I'm just clearly stating the offer. This is the one I typically use the most. Going back to that dental example, it would be 30 new dental patients in 30 days, right? Like if you had something like that, that would be clearly stating the offer in the headline. The next type of headline is a call out headline. So this is where you're clearly calling out who it's for. So I could say, read this if you want outcome, or watch this if you want outcome, if it's a video ad. So I could say, read this if you want to scale your revenue. Read this if you need more dental patients, right? You just read this if you want whatever the outcome that your niche is, right? Because that calls them out, that gets their curiosity, and that's going to point them and get their interest to read the rest of your ad. And then finally, we have outcome headlines. So achieve outcome guaranteed, or achieve outcome in time frame, right? So I could say, scale your company guaranteed, scale your company in 90 days guaranteed, right? I could say, get more dental patients guaranteed, get 30 new dental patients in 30 days guaranteed, right? These are outcome-based headlines. So what you can do in this context, typically start it with an offer headline or a call out. These are the easiest. These are the ones I test the most. But all you have to do for now, the action item, now that we went over how to create your ad copy with both the body copy and the headline frameworks, is create your ad copy and headline using the frameworks above. So create your body copy using the 5-step ad copy framework that we went over, and just fill it out. You don't need to overcomplicate it. And then create your headline using the headline frameworks provided. And just like that, you will have your ad copy created. And then in the next video, we'll go over the creative and how to set that up. So I'll see you in that video. All right, in this lesson, we're gonna go over creating your ad creative. And what your ad creative is the video ad or image ad that you use to get someone to stop scrolling and convey your offer. And you can see in my ad here, the creative is what's highlighted in red, this video ad here. Now, what I recommend for your ad creative is using a video ad. That's what we're gonna go over. And the reason behind that is video ads is what's worked best for me, as well as for all of our clients. We recommend video ads because we see higher returns and more conversions. And the reason behind that is with the video ad, you can convey your offer more clearly, and people can resonate with you because they actually see your face compared to an image. And a quick story behind this, I used to only do image ads because I was scared of getting my face on video in front of thousands of people. So I would only do image ads, and my ads never really took off. I would get some leads, some results, but my returns weren't profitable enough to really start scaling. And I got frustrated, so what I did is I just pulled out my iPhone and shot a quick 60-second video ad just out of frustration, and that ad was what I scaled past thousands of dollars per day that helped me scale my agency past 100K per month, all from that one decision. And ever since then, I've been sold on video ads. So what we're gonna go over is creating a very strong video ad. So a couple fundamental house rules for a good video ad. First thing is you want to make sure it's direct to camera and in landscape mode. And what I mean by that is, shooting from your phone is perfectly fine. All the video ads I shot was on my iPhone. So if you have an iPhone or Android with the camera, that's perfectly acceptable. If you have a fancy camera like mine, you can use that as well. But all the ads that I used for my agency were on my iPhone and in landscape mode. And what landscape mode is you want to make sure your camera's horizontal like this. It's not in vertical mode where it looks all messed up. You want to make sure it's in horizontal landscape mode so it's a bigger frame. The next thing is you want to make sure that in your video ad, there's a headline with an offer. So you can edit your video ad in a way where there's the video in the middle and there's a headline up top. And the headline is so important. The headline actually states your offer. That's what gets someone to actually stop scrolling and then want to actually watch the rest of your video ad there. You can see here, mine says 10x ROI guaranteed. I'm stating the offer. If I had an agency going after gyms and my offer was 30 new members in 30 days, I would say guaranteed 30 gym members in 30 days as my headline. That would get a gym owner to stop scrolling and wanting to watch the rest of my video. So I'd have a headline with the offer. And you can either use an app like InShot to edit this if you're on your iPhone or Android, or you could just pay someone on Fiverr to edit this video for you for like $5. It's really cheap. Then you want to make sure you have subtitles. So you can see at the bottom of this video here, there's subtitles. And the reason subtitles and captions are so important is on Facebook and Instagram, video ads do not play with sound unless they click the sound. So you want to make sure there's subtitles. In that case, they're not watching it with sound so they can follow along. And then finally, you want to make sure you have clear audio. If your audio is not good in your video ad, your conversions are going to go down because they can't hear you. So kind of common sense, but you want to make sure with your video ad, it's direct to camera in landscape mode. You have a headline with your offer, so get it edited. Have subtitles and clear audio. Those are the fundamentals. So now let's go over the actual script to use in your video ad. And here's the good news. The script that you're going to use is the exact script that you've already created for your body copy. So if you remember in the last lesson, we went over the 5-step ad copy framework. All you're going to do is you're going to take that ad copy framework that you've already written out and created, and you're just going to shoot a video of you saying the ad. That's all you got to do. So just take out your iPhone and just shoot a video of you saying line by line the ad that you've already written out. So in this case, I would be like, take out my phone and I would say, looking to scale your company? We guarantee a 10x ROI working with us. So for every $1 you give us, we'll give you $10 back in return. And want to know the best part? We'll do it purely on results, meaning there's no upfront fees, there's no useless monthly retainers, none of that nonsense. We only get compensated on the additional revenue and sales we bring into your company that you're currently missing out on. Sound too good to be true? Then click on this ad and let me back up everything I just said. You'll see major 6, 7, and 8-figure brands who we've worked with to help scale up to the next level. And I'm confident if you're the right person, we can do it for you too. You'll also see a video that explains how we generate results and how we can work with you to scale your company purely on a paid-on results basis. So if that sounds good to you, click the link below to get the full details. And if you like the idea, let's talk. All right, so I just shot that ad. Like, that's how simple it is. I'm just stating what I've already written out as an ad. If you want to see the exact ad that I used, which was pretty much what I just said, watch this example video here that's attached. In fact, I'll get my editor to just play that video ad right now on the screen. So you can watch that right now. So that'll pop up. Hey, Thisura here, and I'll keep this quick. If you want to scale up your revenue and sales, we guarantee a 10x ROI working with us. So for every $1 you give us, you're guaranteed to make $10 back in return. And want to know the best part? We'll do it purely on results. So there's no upfront fees, there's no useless monthly retainers that lead to no results, none of that. We only get compensated on the additional revenue and sales we bring into your company that you're currently missing out on, so that way you can't lose. Now, if you're skeptical after hearing a big promise like that, which you should be, this is the internet after all, just click on this ad and let me back up everything I just said. You're gonna see countless 6, 7, and 8-figure brands who you might recognize who work with us to increase their revenue and sales in their company. And I'm confident if you're the right person, we can do it for you too, and we'll do it purely on results and guarantee a 10x ROI working with us. So if that sounds fair to you, go ahead, click on this ad. It's gonna take you to a page with a video that explains things in more detail. And if you like what you see, go ahead, book in a call, and let's talk. Cheers. All right, so now that you just saw that ad, all you have to do now as your action item is create your video ad creative using the script above and following the instructions. So pull out your phone, make sure it's in landscape mode, and all you have to do is shoot a quick 60 to 90 second video of you saying the ad that you've already written out. And once that's done, you have your creative complete and you'll be good to go. And then just make sure you follow the instructions of there's a headline that's attached. So edit and have a headline on that video, add subtitles, and make sure the audio is good. Shoot a quick 60 to 90 second video of you stating and saying the ad that you've already written out, and you have your video ad and your creative completed. So once you've done that, I'll see you in the next lesson. All right, in this lesson, we're gonna go over creating your funnel. And there's a lot we're gonna cover in this lesson because the main objective is to build out a funnel that will convert people who click on your ads into booked meetings. And I'm gonna give you step-by-step the exact funnel that I use to book over 500 meetings per month from paid ads and scale my agency over 6 figures per month. And I'm gonna break it down step-by-step so you can copy it and model it for your agency. So let's dive right into it. Now, one thing is make sure to go to to the description below this video or the pinned comment to get access to the free course notes so you can follow along and actually implement this. So the funnel we're going to build consists of 3 core pages. The first page is our landing page, the second page is our booking page, and the third page is our call confirmation page. So I'm going to give you a high-level overview of each one of these pages, and then we're going to dive into each one of these specifically. So the first page is the landing page. And the landing page is really straightforward. This is the first page they're going to land on once they click on our ad. So the landing page consists of a good headline that lures them in. Then from the headline, we have a video sales letter, and this is a 5 to 10 minute video that pitches our offer. And don't worry, I'm going to give you the scripts for all of these. Then we have a call to action that pushes them to schedule a call with us. Then we have a high level 3-phase or 3-step description that goes over our process and how we generate them results. And we want to keep it at a high level and kind of vague, and we're going to do that on purpose. So you can see there's 3 phases here. And then we have all of our case studies and our results, because we want to make sure when people click on this page, they can clearly see the clients that we got results for, because they're skeptical right now and we need to address that. So we have a bunch of case studies that they can go through. And then at the very bottom, we have one last call to action for them to book a call. So that is the first landing page. Then from here, if they click any of these buttons to book a call, they get taken to the booking page. So the booking page is the second step in the funnel, the booking page right here. So the booking page consists of another headline that pushes them to book a call. Then we have our calendar that's embedded where they can book a call with us directly. And then we have even more case studies again that are stated, because while they're booking a call, we want to make sure that they can see all the results and case studies so they can validate that it's a good decision for them to spend time with us on a call. So that's all this page consists of: a headline, a calendar, and our testimonials. Then after they've gone ahead and they've scheduled in a call with us, they get redirected to the call confirmation page. And the call confirmation page is a very simple page that has a headline that says, "Congratulations on booking a call. Here's what happens next." And it consists of basically 4 to 5 bullet points that goes over the next steps. So the prospect is clear on what happens once they book a call, so you can increase your show up rates. And there's another video that just reiterates what happens once they book a call. So those are the pages of the funnel. So now let's actually dive into each one of these and build these out. Now, one thing as well, if you have a Go High Level account, you can click the share funnel link right here, and that's going to automatically import that funnel into your account with the click of a button, so you can fill it out a lot faster. You can also use the share funnel link. If you're not using Go High Level, you can click it. You can get a 14-day trial to Go High Level, and you'll get this funnel for free, so you can get access to the 7-figure funnel, and you can copy it. There will be a 14-day trial, and then after that, you become a paid member. I am an affiliate, so I would get a commission of that. So you can use that if you want to sign up for High Level. You get the funnel for free. But apart from that, if you don't want to use High Level and you have your own funnel builder website provider, that's totally fine. I'm going to show you how to go through each one of these pages so you can build it. So let's start with the first page we're going to build out, which is our landing page. So the outline for this page is very straightforward. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open this split screen so you can go through this step by step. So we're going to start with our headline, and the headline to this page is a headline that calls out the desire of your market and states your offer. So we like to keep things really simple. So you can see my headline here, and this is the exact funnel I used. I said, "We'll scale your company's revenue purely on results. Guaranteed 10x ROI, pay nothing out of pocket to get started." So you can see in my headline, I am calling out the desire of my market, which is they want to scale their revenue, and I am stating my irresistible offer, which says guaranteed 10x ROI, pay nothing out of pocket. So you want to just model a headline like that calls out the desire of your market and states your offer. For example, if I have an offer for gyms and my guarantee is I can get them, let's say, 30 new members in 30 days, it would be something like looking for more gym members. We guarantee 30 members in 30 days, or you don't pay. Something like that would be the headline. Then from there, we have our VSL, which is this video right here. I'm going to break that down a little bit later, the exact script to use, but all you need to do for now is complete your headline. Then you have to fill out your call to action, which you can just copy this call to action right here, which is watch the video, schedule your call using the button below to qualify. So you could pretty much copy and model that if you want. And then we're going to have a button that just says schedule your call now, which is this button right here. And then what you want to have, this is the thing that you're going to need to fill out, is a here's how it works section. And this is where you want to describe a quick 3 to 5 step process on how you generate results for clients. So that's this step right here. You can see at a high level, mine says, we'll scale your companies purely on results and guarantee a 10x ROI. Here's how. And then I state phase number 1 is immediate revenue. Phase number 2 is optimize your sales process. And phase number 3 is hyperscale. So you can see it's just a high level overview. So what you need to do right now is pretty much model this, but modify this for your offer. So describe in 3 to 5 steps how you get results for your niche and add that description here. So just go ahead and write that out. And then you want to add your results in your case studies. So the case study formula that I use for my funnels, it's very easy, is I like to have the name of the client. I like to give a little bit of a description about who that client is and who that brand is to add credibility. Then I have a picture or video, if it's a video testimonial. And then I just have the result, right? Like I'll have, if it's a testimonial or written testimonial, I'll just state that. And I just copy that formula over and over again. I don't like to have a ton of videos on the landing page because that makes the page speed slow, which I don't want. So that's why I have it all with images and texts onto it. So I recommend following that. So insert your testimonials, then have another call to action that says you can pretty much modify this. Watch the video, schedule your call using the button below to qualify, which is at the very bottom. Let's go here. So you'd write something similar, and then you'd have a button that says book a call. So all you need to do for now is pretty much just fill out anything that's in yellow. Apart from this video sales letter script for now, we're going to go through that script separately because it's a little bit bigger. But all you have to do for now is just fill out the yellow here, the yellow here, the yellow here, and everything else you can keep pretty much the same, and you're good to go, and you'll have everything you need for the landing page. So now you have the structure for the landing page built out. The next page is the booking page. So the booking page is even easier. That is the second page in the funnel. That is this beautiful page right here, which is just a headline, a calendar, and then some case studies. So all we need to do here is we need to have our headline, which all you really need to follow for this is we will scale, we will give you big result, book a call below to qualify. So that's all you really need. Just add a headline that says, we will get you, insert the outcome that they're after, book a call below. So that's all you need for the headline. Then you're going to embed your calendar directly under it. And you can get the calendar embed if you're using Calendly or Go High Level, whatever you're using. This is easy to get. And then you're just going to paste in your testimonials again, which you should already have. So that's all this page consists of. So you have the results section. And then at the very bottom of your case studies, you're going to have one more button for them to book a call. If they hit setup now, it just takes them to the top of the page where they can book in a call again. So this page is very simple. Again, there's a headline, a calendar. You're going to reattach your testimonials, and then you're going to have a calendar or a button that they can click to let them book a call. That is it. So that is the call booking page outline. You can create that in 30 seconds or 5 minutes. Shouldn't take you that much time. And then the final page after they book a call is a call confirmation page. So again, all we're going to use for the call confirmation page is we have a headline, we attach our video, and then we have our results section, which is optional. I don't even have a results section in mine, but all you need to do is you can pretty much copy this. So all it says is congrats on booking your call. Here's what happens next. So use that as your headline up top. In terms of the next steps, you can see there's 3 to 5 steps that are attached. So just copy this if you want, but just modify the steps here to your, you might have a call on Google Meet instead of a Zoom, or you might do things a little bit differently. So just modify these steps here. All you want to do is just outline what happens once they book in a call so they're clear on the next steps. And then you attach your video, which again, we're going to go through the video script to use here in a second. But all you need to do is outline your headline, outline the next steps, right? So these are 1 to 5 steps for your clients so they understand what happens after booking a call. And if you want, you can just copy the steps that I have there that are already on this page, which you can see here, and just modify that. And then we have a video, which we're going to go through that script here in a second. So once you filled those 3 out, you basically have all the pages for your funnel complete. We just need to actually install those, but you have all your pages wireframed out. You have your landing page, your booking page, and your call confirmation page. So go finish those outlines there so you have all the page scripts created. Then from there, we actually have to create the video scripts because every single one, well, not every single one, the landing page and the call confirmation page both have a video. So we need to create those videos. So let's go through the first video we have to create, which is our video sales letter. And what our video sales letter is, just a quick refresher, is that's this video here on the first landing page. And this video is very important, but you have to keep in mind most people are not going to watch most of this video. They're only going to watch 20 seconds to a minute of it, really. Most people are going to look at the headline, read all this stuff here, and then book a call. But we want to make sure we have a video that states our offer as well. So it's still important. You don't want to slack off on this part here. So the script we're going to use for the video is as follows. So we start with the hook and promise, then we go over social proof, then we go over how it works, then we go over how to qualify for our offer, then we state our criteria, Then we have a strong call to action, and then we add scarcity and urgency. So let's actually break this down step by step so you can see this. So, and also one thing too that you can do is you can also watch my video here at any point as I'm going through this so you can see, because this is the exact script that I used in the video. So we start with the hook, and what the hook is, the objective of the hook is to really pull the reader in and get them engaged in what we have to offer. So you can see here, mine says, if you're an online business owner who wants to scale your revenue and sales, we literally guarantee we can do that. And to prove that to you, we're going to make you the most insane risk-free offer you've ever seen. So let me explain. We'll come into your company as a fractional CMO and scale your revenue purely on results. There's no upfront fees, there's no monthly retainers, you literally pay nothing out of pocket to get started. We only get compensated on the additional revenue and sales we bring into your company that you're currently missing out on. And here's the best part. We guarantee you'll get a 10x ROI working with us. So for every $1 you give us, you're guaranteed to make it $10 back. So if we decide to work together, you're literally guaranteed to make more revenue and sales in your company. So the key thing with the hook here is you want to really put your best foot forward, because most people are going to watch the hook. So you want to really state your offer and state how it's pretty much a no-brainer for them if they want to get started. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm saying, hey, you're guaranteed a 10x ROI. You pay nothing out of pocket to get started. It's a no-brainer. You're guaranteed more sales. So I'm stating that right in the beginning. That's our hook. I'm really putting my best foot forward. So you want to make sure with your hook, you're coming in strong and you're showing how you can solve their problems and what they gain to benefit from working with you and how there's very little risk. Then after the hook, we need to add social proof, because right after we come in with a hook like that, they're going to be like, okay, well, who have you done it for in the past? It's very similar to the scripts that we used in our ads. We need to now state that in our video. So then we have to address social proof. So I could say, and if that sounds too good to be true, here's why we can make you an offer like this. We're not new to this. We've generated millions of dollars in sales for our clients, and we work with some of the biggest online brands in the world. And then I would list off the testimonials, like clients like X and Y and Z. So just watch the video here if you want to see how I did that in more detail. I just go through my case studies. Then I say, and you can see their results and testimonials below this video, but to keep things simple, we're very good at scaling companies. And then I like to transition by saying something like, so now that you know we generate results, you're probably wondering, how do we work with our clients? And that opens up the next section of the script, which is here's how it works. And here's how it works is just explaining at a high level how our process works. So this is where you want to just state your 3 to 5 core pillars or your core steps on how you generate results for your clients. Now, this is pretty much going to be exactly what you say on your landing page. You're just going to say that in a video. So I won't go through everything step by step here, but I basically say we partner with you and your business for 6 weeks to aggressively scale it up. We split the 6 weeks into 3 distinct phases. Phase 1 is immediate revenue. Then I explain what that is. Phase 2 is we focus on optimizing your sales process. Phase 3 is hyperscale. And we guarantee if we take you through this process, we'll scale your revenue. That's why we offer 10x ROI guarantee, right? So I'm stating how my process works. And again, I'm restating the benefits. We work purely on results. You pay nothing out of pocket. We only get compensated on the additional revenue. So that is what I like to do for my how it works section. It's at a high level. I'm not getting too nitty gritty. This section might only take me 2 to 3 minutes. Then the next part of the script is we want to go over how to qualify for our offer. So the way I like to do this is I say, now as awesome as an offer as this is, there is one small catch. We can't make this offer for everyone. And then you want to list out the criteria of your ideal clients. So in my video, I say you have to be doing over $500,000 in annual revenue. You need an engaged email list. You need to be spending at least $5,000 per month on ad spend. You need to work fast. You need to have integrity. You just list out the criteria that you need in an ideal client. Then we have another call to action where it says, if that's you and you want to scale your revenue, here's what to do next. Click the link below to this video to schedule a call with me or one of my team members to see if you qualify. On this call, we'll analyze your business and create a game plan you can use immediately to increase your revenue. And if at the end of the call you want our help implementing it, we can discuss the next steps to start our partnership. So go ahead, click the link below to schedule in a call. So that's our call to action. So just fill that out. Very straightforward. You can pretty much copy this. And then we have our scarcity and urgency. This is where we're going to add how, we have limited spots here because everyone has limited spots at a capacity and we want to state that. So I can say, now due to the nature of this offer, this is extremely time sensitive as we only partner with so many businesses at a time. So if you're even slightly interested, book in a call below as we're doing this on a first come, first serve basis. And I promise you, if you want to scale your business, this will easily be the best decision you make this year. So book in a call below, right? So again, we're just stating how this is time sensitive. We can only partner with so many brands. So make sure to book in a call below as we're doing this on a first come, first serve basis. So have some sort of languaging like that to really encourage the reader at the very end to book in a call because we have limited openings. So that is the process. That is the script at a high level. One last recap. We start with our hook that pushes them in. This is where we need to put our most effort and our best foot forward. Then we add social proof to back up that claim, and we state our testimonial so they see we've done it for other people, and it reduces the risk for them to get started. Then we go over how our process works, where we state 3 to 5 steps at a high level. And then we go over how to qualify for our offer, and we clearly state the criteria of our ideal clients. And then we have a call to action where we let them know what we want them to do next and book in a call. And then we add scarcity and urgency. So we let them know, hey, we're not doing this for everyone. We're doing it on a first come, first serve basis. So book in a call now, hurry up. So that is the process. All you have to do is fill this section in, fill out your hook, add your social proof, add the how it works section, add the qualification section, have a call to action, add your scarcity and urgency, and you'll have your video sales letter script. So that is this script right here for this video. Now, the next step is you actually have to put together a presentation, and this is optional. So what the presentation looks like is you'll see on the page that I used here is I go through a slideshow, and I use a slideshow that I put together on Google Slides. Basically, all I'm doing is once I write the script, I just take each one of the sentences and I turn that into a slide. So then that way, as I'm going through the video, I'm just flicking through the slides and then reading them slide by slide so I can do it in one take. That's how I do it. I like to use slides. Plus, I think with slides, it's more visual. If they don't understand a word you might be saying, they can always read it on as you're going through the slides. So what I would do is you can watch this video and you can see how I'm going through these slides. But all you have to do is once you have your script written out, and this is optional, like some people prefer to just do it direct to camera, no slides. They like to just split it up and do it in different takes. You're totally, like, that's fine if you want to do it that way. But if you want to use slides, all you have to do is once you have your script written out, put it sentence by sentence into slides like so. And then when you're recording your video, just screen share your face and the slides and just go through every single one of the slides and read it out, and you'll be good to go. That is putting together the video script. So write your video sales letter script. If you're going to use a presentation, go create that as well. And then you'll be able to create your video sales letter. The next video that you have to create is the call confirmation video. So this is after they book in a call, which we went over. After they book in a call, they go into this page here that states the next steps. Now, pretty much everyone who books a call is going to land here and watch this video, so it's important to have this and get this done. So what this video looks like, it's probably the easiest video you'll ever shoot. All we're going to do is we're going to go over how to prepare for the call, and you're going to insert, 3 to 5 bullet points on how they can prepare for the call. Then we're going to go over here's what happens on the call and insert, 3 to 5 benefits or what actually happens on the call. Then go over what happens at the end of the call. And that's where you want to address, like, at the end of the call, I'm going to make you an offer to become a client. You're either going to say yes or no. And then you want to recap why they need to attend, because if we want to increase their show up rate, we need to, again, drive home the benefits of why they need to show up. So you can watch the video here for an example. In terms of, I like to use slides. You can literally copy these slides here and use this where it's like, here's how to prepare for our call. Let me know your goals and objectives for the business. Come with an overall understanding of your numbers. Be open to sharing your numbers accurately. Here's what we'll cover on the call. We're going to find immediate strategies to make you more money, increase your sales, blah, 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 right? You can see I just like to have like 3 to 5 bullet points that goes over what we're going to cover on the call and actually beefs up the benefits. Then I have a slide that here's what happens at the end of the call. And you can see my slide here as I say at the end of the call, once we finish coming up with the plan, I'm going to ask you one simple question. And that is, do you want my help implementing this plan? You'll either say yes or no, right? If you say yes, we'll get started. If you say no, that's totally okay. No harm, no foul, right? And then I just recap why you need to attend. So again, I restate the benefits saying, if you're plateaued or struggling to grow your business, this might be the most valuable call you'll be on this year. We're going to break down what you need to do to grow your business and take it to the next level. And if we decide to work together, you're guaranteed a 10x ROI. And then I'm stating this is extremely time sensitive. We're doing this on a first come, first serve basis. So I'm recapping and selling them again why they need to attend. And then I just say, look forward to talking. So those are the slides that I like to use. And then again, I just like to record a video that's a screen share of me going through these slides. And that's the only 2 videos that you need to create. So that's the video for the video sales letter, and that's the video for the call confirmation script. So all you got to do is shoot those 2 videos. And once you shoot those videos and you have all the landing page scripts created, you have everything you need to actually build this funnel. So once you do that, either build, if you're on Go High Level, like I mentioned earlier, you can click the share funnel link and it's going to import everything into your account. And you just need to basically modify it, put in the scripts for your landing page, your booking page, and your call confirmation page on there, change any of the branding or the colors for your specific brand. So you can have that funnel built, shoot your videos, and actually import those videos onto the page, onto the funnel, and you'll have it built. You have all the materials. Now you just got to put it together. And I'm not going to go through that because every landing page builder is a little bit different, but it's fairly self-explanatory once you have these. Again, if you're on Go High Level, you click this link, you'll have it with the click of a button. Now, the tech needed for you to do this, you need a landing page builder. So whether that's Go High Level, ClickFunnels, they all work the same. You just need to build out these pages, and very straightforward. You need a video conferencing software to actually take sales calls, whether that's Zoom or Google Meet. And then you need a scheduling software for people to book a call. So that's Calendly, or even Go High Level has forms now where you can book in a call. So that's the tech that's needed to actually pull this off. The action item you need to focus on to create your funnel is just follow the steps above. All you have to do is create your landing page scripts. So use the landing page outline, the booking page outline, and the call confirmation page. Use all of these outlines here, fill them in so you have all your scripts created. Then create your video scripts for your video sales letter and your call confirmation video. So you have those scripts created. And then once you have all your scripts created, all you have to do is, if you're on Go High Level, use a share funnel link here, import it into your account, fill out the scripts that you created onto those pages so you have that all done, or just take your scripts and build it manually on pages. Put everything together and you'll have a functioning funnel that goes through all of these steps, and you'll be able to convert people who click on your ads into booked calls. So this might take you an hour or two to put together, but go through these steps. It's just one-time work that you have to do. But after that, you're gonna have a functioning, high converting funnel that's gonna get you meetings booked and clients, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. So go get this done, and I'll see you in the next lesson. All right, in this lesson, we're gonna go over creating your ad targeting. And the main objective is to find the right audiences to target with your ads. And what your ad targeting is simply who sees your ad, because you could have the best ad in the world, but if the wrong people see it, it's not going to work. So your targeting is very important. And this is the structure and targeting strategy I like to use to maximize the amount of calls and clients I get from my marketing and advertising efforts. And I call it the 5 core targeting buckets. So let's break down every single one of these step by step. So the first targeting bucket is direct niche targeting options, which I'm going to show you in a second. The second targeting bucket is lookalike audiences. And the third targeting bucket is niche interests. The fourth targeting bucket is niche influencers, and the fifth targeting bucket is niche tools and softwares. So let's break down every single one of these, starting with the first targeting bucket, which is the direct niche targeting option. So this, for example, is where we can target our niche directly. So if you're going after personal trainers, this would be targeting personal trainers directly if they have that option available. If you're targeting dentist directly. That is going to be one of your best audiences because it is a direct match. Now, not every single time a direct match is available as a targeting option, but if it is, we want to use that. So an example of this and how we're going to find these audiences is we're going to open our Facebook Ads Manager. Then what we're going to do is we're going to hit create a campaign. Really, any of these options work, but I'm just going to hit leads for the sake of it. I'm going to just hit continue. You want to hit manual leads campaign. Go ahead and continue here. Then I'm just going to go ahead and hit next. And what I'm going to do to find audiences is I'm going to go down here to where it says Advantage Audiences. I'm going to hit switch to original audience options. Actually, we can hit audience suggestion. Just click this for now. And then once we're in here, we can actually start looking at our targeting options. So what I'm going to do is I can go ahead and hit edit. And we want to be in the detailed targeting section. This is what's going to allow us to find audiences. So let's say, for example, I'm going after personal trainers. That's my niche. I can type that in, and you can see that's an option as a job title. I could target that directly. Now, the niche that I went after was e-commerce store owners, right? So that wasn't a specific option, but I could type in, let's say, owners. Right, so that's a job title, owner. So anyone who's an owner of a company, I can target. I can target that niche directly, right? So I can type in owner. I can then look at suggestions, owner and founder, owner and CEO, right? These are huge audiences, 19 million. Owner and founder is 826,000. Owner and CEO is 1.5 million, right? So these are direct targeting options where I can go directly for the decision maker if I wanted to, right? So that's the first targeting bucket. The second targeting bucket that's probably going to apply to most of you is lookalike audiences. And what lookalike audiences are is where you can actually upload a list to Facebook or Instagram of, let's say, 100 people who've booked a call with you. And you can send that list over to Facebook. And what it's going to do is it's going to use its algorithm and its database to get you people who are similar to the people who've booked a call with you and show ads to people just like that. So those are going to be some of your best audiences because it's taking data from people who've booked a call with you or became a client. And then what it's going to do is it's going to find people similar and show your ads to them. So that is a lookalike audience. So let's go through how to actually create lookalike audiences and do this. So with lookalike audiences, you need at least 100 contacts from the same country for this to work. Now, from best to worst of lookalike sources, the best are clients. Like if you have at least 100 clients from the same country, that's going to be the best. Well, you don't know that till you test it, but in most cases, clients are going to be the best because they've actually paid money with you. The second is showed up calls. So if you have a list of prospects who've actually booked a call and showed up to that appointment from the same country, that's going to be your next best option for a lookalike. The third is just calls. So if you have at least 100 contacts who've booked a call with you, creating a lookalike of people who book calls with you is going to be a very good audience. This is what I used. I used calls a lot of times. And then finally, you have leads. So if you don't have at least 100 contacts from the same country in any of these three options, you want to just pick leads. So these could be people who've opted in or just leads in general that you might have acquired. So how we're going to get this data? The first option is owned data, right? So ideally, if you have client data, showed up calls data, right? Like any of these three already internally that you have, you can simply export that data into a CSV file and use that. So that's owned data if you have that. That's option number one. The second option is purchase data. So let's say, for example, you don't have client data, you don't have showed up calls, you don't have calls in general, and you don't have any leads. Well, what you can do in that case is you can just purchase data. So let's say my niche is gym owners. I could go to a tool like D7 Lead Finder, and all I would need to do is like I could just type in, I could actually get, let's say, 500 emails from gym owners in the US, download that list, and then I could use that as a lookalike audience onto Facebook. And I'm going to show you how to actually upload a list and create this in a second, don't worry. But option number one is own data. This is where you own the data. But if you don't have that, the second option is you can purchase the data, go to something like just type in your whatever niche you're in, but you could go to a, like a lead sourcing tool like D7 Lead Finder. I could use this to actually find like any niche that I'm like, hair salons, gyms. I could type in gyms, view the leads. You have to pay for software like this, but then I could export those leads. You can see they have their phone number, the email address. I would export these leads here into a CSV file and then use that as a lookalike audience for Facebook to use as its central source. So let's actually go through how to do this. So how to create a lookalike audience. What we're going to do is we're going to go into Facebook. Once we're up here, we're going to click my face, if it lets me. Actually, we're going to hit these audience tabs right here, which is these three dots. We're going to go ahead and click audiences. This is going to load. Once we're in the audience tab here, we're going to hit create an audience. We're going to hit create a lookalike audience. So we're going to go ahead and click that. Then once we're here, we're going to select your lookalike source. So we have to create a new source. Then we're just going to click custom audience. So we're going to go ahead and create that. Then what we're going to do is we're going to hit a customer list. We're going to hit next. And then what you want to do is this all looks fine. You don't need to worry about it. Just hit next here. You can hit no to this of does your list include a column for customer value? Just hit next. And then what you're going to do is you're going to upload your CSV. So what you need to do is, let's say you can export a file of, let's just go back into here just to give you some context. But let's say you want to create a lookalike audience and you have 100 contacts who've booked a call with you. You want to get those lists, put them into like a Google sheet and put like their name, their email, their phone number if you have that data. And you're going to download that file as a CSV file, right? That's going to allow you to actually upload this. So I've already done that, but once you have that file, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit upload file. I'm going to put that in here as a CSV, final all calls. You can see this here. That's going to load. That's already done. So that's going to be the CSV file I'm going to use. I'm going to go ahead and hit next. And then it's going to show you, it says like from the contacts, it knows that this field right here is email, but there's two columns that they don't really understand. They don't know what this is and this is. And this is the first name, this is the last name. So all I have to do is I have to click this, and then I just have to label this as the first name. And then this second column, I'm going to label this as the last name. So now it has all the columns created. It knows what all the columns in that CSV file is. It knows it has first name, last name, and the email address. Then from there, I'm going to hit import and create. It's going to say upload in progress. Then it's all done, 925 rows. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit create a lookalike audience. And then from here, we're going to select an audience and location. So I'm just going to put United States, going to do that. And then from here, what I'm going to do is I can create a 1% lookalike. So what that's going to do, a 1% is the best match, or it's the closest match. What it's saying is, okay, find me people who are as similar as possible to the list that I just gave you of people who've booked in a call with me. So I'm going to put a 1%. So it's going to saying that audience is 2.7 million people. So it can find me 2.7 million people who are similar to the data I just gave Facebook, right? So you can see the power in this is why it's so powerful. So I can go ahead and hit create audience, and it's going to go ahead and create that lookalike audience. And it's just populating that data. Now, what I would do is I would repeat that same process for a 2% lookalike audience and a 3% lookalike audience for every single one of those, right? So to show you what that looks like, I want to have at least 1%, a 2%, and a 3%. So to show you what that looks like, I can do that same process again. I can hit lookalike audience. I can hit select an existing audience or data source. So I can just put final all calls, this one right here. And then I'm going to put United States. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this to a 2% lookalike. And this is now it's 5.5 million people in this audience. I can hit create audience. And now Facebook is creating me a 2% lookalike. It's populating. And you can say this is actually already ready. And then I can do that one more time. Lookalike audience, select your lookalike source. I'll just put final all calls, that was the data source that I put in. Put this to United States, and we'll put this sucker to a 3%. So now I have my 3 core lookalike audiences created, a 1%, a 2%, and a 3%. These are the 3 audiences I like to test for lookalikes. So that's how you create lookalike audiences. Most of you are likely going to be using lookalike audiences as your targeting options, because if you're trying to go after dentists or whatever, they might not be a direct targeting option, but you can always use lookalike. So most of you are likely going to be using the 1 to 3% of lookalike audiences. The next targeting bucket is niche interests. So this is where we can target interests that our niche are interested in, right? So fairly self-explanatory. So let's say I'm going after, I need to go back into my ad manager here. Let's say I'm going after e-commerce owners, right? Because that's what I was going after. That was a big niche, was e-commerce store owners in my agency. Is what I would do is I would go back to my targeting options here, audience suggestion, go into detailed targeting, and I can type things like, if I'm going after e-commerce store owners, I could probably target people who are interested in e-commerce, right? So you can see e-commerce is an interest. I can go ahead and use e-commerce. I can hit suggestions and it'll show me more similar things. I can also target people who are interested in drop shipping, right? Because if I'm trying to go after e-commerce store owners, they're probably interested in drop shipping and e-commerce, right? So that's direct interests, right, that my niche is interested in. So what you want to do is you want to start thinking through what are some of the interests in my niche and can you find them? And then once you find one interest, just hit the suggestions tab and it's going to show you more and more. So that's the third bucket, is niche interests. The fourth bucket is niche influencers. So the next thing you want to look at are who are some big influencers in the space that people in your niche might be following. This has been some of my best audiences have been targeted influencers that my niche is interested in. So for example, people who are e-commerce store owners, they're probably interested in marketing and business influencers like Gary Vaynerchuk, Neil Patel, and Seth Godin, right? These are all big influencers in the marketing space. So I can type in Gary Vaynerchuk. You can see he shows up. I can hit suggestions. I can also hit, let's just see, Seth Godin. You can see Seth Godin, he shows up here. And then I can also target, who else did I have here? I think I had one more. Yeah, Neil Patel. Shout out to Neil Patel. Oh, this is looking at custom audiences, my bad. So we'll put this back, Neil Patel, and you can see Neil Patel shows up right here, right? So that's the third bucket, is niche influencers. Fourth bucket, rather, is niche influencers. So you want to figure out who are the big influencers in your space and see, like, that your niche are interested in, see if you can find them and then target them directly. That is a great bucket. And the final bucket is niche tools and softwares. So you want to think of what are specific tools and softwares that your niche is using that you can target. So if I'm going after e-commerce store owners, a big tool that they're likely using is Shopify. So I can type that in and you can see Shopify interest. I can target that directly. I can hit suggestions and I know what other softwares they're using is, look, let's go through here. Magento, right? This is another big software that e-commerce store owners use. Wix.com, another software that they use. And I can keep going through these. So now I have softwares that my niche is using that I can target. So you can see, just like that, I have 5 different buckets that I can target. I can go after my niche directly if that's an option as a job title in most cases. So if I'm going after dentist, if I can target dentist directly, I want to find that audience. That'll be a great audience. If not, for most of you, you're going to be using lookalike audiences from 1 to 3%, where you are going to be providing a list of contacts to Facebook and Instagram of people who've booked calls, leads, or clients, and then you're going to give that list to Facebook, and Facebook's going to find you people and create audiences that are similar to the list that you gave them. That's going to be where what most of you guys are going to be doing. So make sure you do this, you have this. You either have to own the data or purchase that data, whatever you have to do, get that data so you can use lookalike audiences. The third bucket is niche interests. So these are interests that your niche are interested in. And the fourth bucket is niche influencers. And the final bucket is niche tools and softwares. So what I want you to do, the action item, is I want you to create your targeting for your ads and fill out the targeting worksheet. So if you open up this document here, and again, you can get free access to all the course notes using the pinned comment and in the description below. Make sure to get access to this. But once you're here, you can see I have an audience sheet that has direct niche targeting, lookalike audiences, niche interests, lookalike influencers. I'm not lookalike influencers. This is supposed to say niche influencers, and then niche tools and softwares. I don't know why this says lookalike, right? And you want to start filling these out and putting in the size of the audience. So what that looks like is if you find, let's just get out of here for a second. The first targeting option, like I mentioned in here, is direct niche targeting. So let's say, for example, I want to target owners and founders. That's a job title. There's 19 million of them. So I would take that, I'd put that in as owner, audience size, 19 million. Then we have the lookalike audiences that we created from 1 to 3%. Gather the size of those lookalike audiences and then input that data in there. Then for niche interests with e-commerce and dropshipping, like I found earlier, put those audiences in here, put the audience size, do the same thing for niche influencers, do the same thing for niche tools and softwares. And once you fill this out, spend some time doing this, and you really want to have a list of audiences here that you can target. This is a list you want to keep refining. But again, most of you are going to be either targeting lookalike audiences and maybe some niche interests. So that's the action item. Create your targeting for your ads and fill out the targeting worksheet. So ideally, you have at least 1 or 2 in each one of these categories. And if you have that, you have everything you need for targeting. This has been the process I've used to get the best results. So go ahead and fill that out, and I'll see you in the next lesson. All right, in this lesson, we're gonna go over setting your targets and your key performance indicators. And the objective of this lesson is to get clarity on the key targets and metrics we need to aim for to run our ads profitably. Because once we have clarity on the key metrics and targets we need to aim for, running ads becomes a whole lot easier and less scary because we know exactly what we're aiming for. We know what we need to do to run our ads profitably. Without knowing these metrics, you're going in blind and it's gonna be much harder for you to get results. Now, this lesson, we're going to be going into some numbers and it might get a little bit boring, but do not skip this lesson. This is one of the most important lessons in this course related to ads, because if you don't understand what I'm going to share, you're not going to run ads profitably. You're going to burn your money. So this is a required skill set you're going to have to learn. So make sure to watch this video. I'm saying that in advance. So there's going to be 2 parts to this lesson. Part number 1 is we're going to go over important terms and metrics for you to understand. And then part number 2 is we're going to go over calculating your target metrics, where I'm going to give you 2 plug and play calculators that are going to show you the exact metrics you need to aim for to run ads profitably for your offer. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So let's start with part number 1, which is important terms and metrics to understand. And we'll start with a KPI, and that is a term, and that stands for a key performance indicator. And what that is the metrics you look at to determine if your advertising test is performing at the required level to reach your targets. So an example of a KPI is a metric like your cost per acquisition. And your cost per acquisition is how much it costs you to acquire a customer. So for example, let's say you're running ads and you figure out that on average, it costs you $1,000 to acquire a new customer. Once you know that number, it is magic, because let's say, for example, you want to get 10 new clients every single month for your agency and your cost per acquisition is $1,000, you know you need to spend $10,000 every single month to get those 10 clients. So then it becomes a big math equation. The next metric to understand is your cost per call. This is one of the most important metrics, and that is how much it costs you to get a booked call from your ads. And once you know this metric, you know exactly down to the dollar what it costs you to get a meeting booked, an appointment booked. So that way you have that predictability. Whenever you need to get an appointment, you're like, okay, I need to spend X amount. So let's say, for example, you run ads and you figure out on average, it costs you $100 to get a call. Let's say you want 30 new meetings every single month. That means you need to spend $3,000 per month in ads to be able to get those 30 booked calls. The next metric you need to know is your cost of goods sold. So this is the total of how much it costs you to fulfill on a client. So let's say your monthly service is $2,000, and across your contractors, your fulfillment costs, and all the softwares you run to manage that client, it costs you $1,000 in fulfillment costs. That means your cost of goods is $1,000. So it's whatever you need to spend to actually fulfill on that client. Those are your cost of goods. The next metric, and this is the most important metric, or one of the most important metrics that if you understand, you can really get your ads to work and go to 6-7 figures. This is one of the key metrics that most successful advertisers understand, and that is your break-even cost per acquisition. And this is the maximum you can spend to acquire a customer to break even. And what break even means, let's say, for example, your monthly service is $2,000 and you have $1,000 in fulfillment costs. So $1,000 in cost of goods, that leaves you with $1,000 in profit. If you can acquire a customer for at least $1,000 on Facebook or Instagram, you're at break even. You're not making any money initially, but every month that client sticks for you after is profit for you minus the fulfillment cost. And if you understand that, you're essentially acquiring new clients and customers for free, because that first month, yes, you're not making any profit, but all the profit comes if they stick with you and continue. And once I understood this concept, I knew as long as I could get clients for at least break even to start with, then I could infinitely scale my ads. And all the long-term returns come from if your client stays with you anyways. So you want to aim for, in the beginning, a break-even cost per acquisition. And I'm going to show you how to calculate this, so don't worry. The next metric is your conversion rate. So this is the percentage of visitors you convert into calls. So the number of people who land on your funnel that actually convert into a booked call. So let's say 100 people land on your funnel and 3 of them book a call. That's a 3% conversion rate, 3 out of 100. The next metric is your cost per link click, or your CPC. So that's just how much it costs you to get one link click. So these are the key metrics for you to understand. So make sure to watch this and understand that. The next part is calculating your target metrics. So step number 1 is we're going to fill in the calculating your ranges sheet to figure out your advertising targets and key performance indicators. So we're going to open this up. And this is a fancy little calculator that will calculate all of our target metrics for us. So we're going to put the selling price of our product, where let's say it's $2,000. Then we're going to put our cost of goods, which is how much it costs us to fulfill on that offer. So let's say I have $1,000 in fulfillment costs. Then we're going to put in our closing rate. So what our average closing rate is. So if we talk to 10 people, if we convert 2 of them, that's a 20% closing rate. So once we fill in these ranges, then it's going to spit us out all of our targets. So our break-even cost per acquisition, because again, what we're aiming for in the beginning is, can we at least get clients at break even? Because if we can do this, we're acquiring new clients for free. Our break-even cost per acquisition that we need to aim for is $1,000. That is our target cost per acquisition. If we reach this target, we're golden. You pretty much can scale to 6 or 7 figures with your agency very easily if you can get to a break-even cost per acquisition. Our break-even cost per call is $200. So this is what we're aiming for a target cost per call. Can we get calls for at least $200 and our target cost per acquisition $1,000? And the way this math works, just to show you, if our break-even cost per call is $200, the way that works is if our target cost per acquisition is $1,000, and for us, our closing rate's 20%. If we spend $200 per call, that means for us to get 10 calls, that's $2,000 in ad spend. If we convert 20%, which is 2 of them, that gives us 2 clients. 2 clients out of $2,000 in ad spend is $1,000 cost per acquisition and a $200 cost per call. So hopefully that math makes sense. I know we're kind of going deep into the numbers. This might be a lesson you need to watch a couple times to understand, but these are how we figure out the metrics. But again, this will auto-calculate this for you. All you need to know for now is your break-even cost per acquisition and your break-even cost per call. This is what you're aiming for to acquire a client based on your offer, and how much what your cost per call needs to be for you to get this target. Your cost per call is almost like a lead indicator if you're on track, because it takes time for you to close a client, but what you can see immediately from your ads is, am I getting calls for at least $200? Then below that, we have our 2x cost per acquisition and our 2x cost per call. So initially we're aiming for break even, but over time you want to get better results. Now let's say if you want to double your money, your 2x cost per acquisition needs to be $500. So you need to get a client for at least $500 if you want to double your money. That means your cost per call has to be $100. But again, we're aiming for break even in the beginning, but this just acts as contrast to let you know, if you want to get at least a 2x return on your investment, what your metrics would need to look like. The next thing I want to give you benchmarks for that will automatically show you is your cost per click and your conversion rate targets to reach this break-even cost per acquisition. Now, this will automatically calculate what you're aiming for as a benchmark is at least a 3% conversion rate on your funnel. So if 100 people land on your funnel, you want at least 3 of them booking a call. If it's at that stage, we know our funnel is resonating. Below that, it's probably not quite there yet. All the funnels I've used that have crushed it are above 3%. I've had some funnels upwards of 10+%. But if you can get it to at least 3%, that means your message is resonating and you're likely going to be getting consistent calls. So we want to aim for a conversion rate of 3%. And this will show you that your cost per click that you're aiming for is $6. If you can stay within this range where your funnel is converting at 3% and you have a $6 cost per click, that means that it'll cost you $600 for you to get 100 clicks to your funnel. And if you convert at 3%, 3 out of 100, that's 3 calls. That means your cost per call is $200 because it costs you $600 to get those 100 clicks because it's a $6 cost per click. If 3 of them book a call, that's 3 divided by 600 is 200. So that will automatically give you the range. So that's what we're aiming for. There's other ranges as well. You could see if your conversion rate's at 4%, what your max cost per click is. If your conversion rate's at 5%, that's here as well. But again, we're aiming for a 3% conversion rate on our funnel and a $6 cost per click. That will automatically fill out for you. Then the next thing that we showed as well is if you want to double, like if you need to get a 2x cost per acquisition, like if we're aiming for $500 cost per acquisition, you can see that your conversion rate, if it's at 3%, you need to get a click for at least $3. So this will just give you some contrast to what is required onto your targets. But all you need to know right now is your break-even cost per acquisition, your break-even cost per call, what your conversion rate needs to be, which is 3%, and your cost per click, which is $6, which is going to auto-calculate based on what you put here. These numbers will show. So I'll basically highlight the numbers here in green that you need to know to make things really easy. These are the core 4 numbers I want you to memorize and know for now. Then once you've done that, now you have the metrics that you know you need to aim for to actually reach your targets. With your ads, you're aiming for a $1,000 cost per acquisition, a $200 cost per call, a 3% conversion rate, and a $6 cost per click. Awesome. Now it's not that scary. We know what we're aiming for with our ads to be able to run ads at least break even and be profitable. Then from here, the next stage is figuring out how many audiences we want to test and what our ad budget needs to be. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to put our target cost per call and put that in. So in this case, it's a $200 cost per call. That's what we're aiming for based on this break-even cost per call. And then from here, we want to put the number of audiences we want to test. Now, I recommend testing at least 3 audiences to start. You should already have your sheet filled out with a bunch of different audiences. We want to recommend testing 3 audiences to start. Now, for most of you, that's going to be testing a 1%, 2%, and a 3% lookalike audience. That's most of you who are going to be watching this. Those are going to be your 3 audiences that you're going to test. But you want to start and test at least 3 audiences to start. Now, what this next category is a number of days for test results. So we want to make sure that each audience that we test spends our target cost per call. So if our target cost per call is $200, we want to make sure each audience spends at least $200, because let's say we test 3 audiences and each audience spends $200, which is a total of $600 across those 3 audiences. Every audience that's getting us calls for at least $200, we're going to keep and we're going to begin scaling, which I'm going to show you how to do later in this course. But the ones that are not getting us calls for $200, we're going to turn off. So we want to make sure each audience spends our target cost per call. Now, the number of days for test results is how quickly we want to get our feedback. And what I mean by that is you can see 3 options. There's 10 days, 5 days, and 3 days. If we select 10 days, what this means is it's going to spend 10 days for us for each audience to spend at least $200. Now, the advantage of if you put 10 days is your daily budget is going to be smaller. So you could see if I'm testing 3 audiences, my target cost per call is $200, and I'm going to run this test for 10 days, my daily budget for each audience is $20, and my combined daily budget for this entire test is $60 a day. It is a smaller budget. Now, if you want to get results faster in 5 days, like if you have more of a budget, you can get your results faster. If I select 5 days here, you can see my combined daily budget is I have to spend $120 per day, and each audience has to spend $40 per day. Now, the benefit is I'm going to get my test results back faster from this campaign, but I have to spend more money up front. I'm still going to spend $600 over the testing period. That's going to stay the same whether I pick 5 days or 10 days. But again, the benefit of a smaller, like if I pick 5 days, is I get my test results faster. I get in half the time. So I'll be able to know if that ad campaign doesn't work based on the results, I can test another one faster in half the time rather than waiting 10 days. So it just depends on your daily budget and how much you want to spend. If I pick 3 days, which is the fastest, I recommend you test any campaign for at least 3 days. That's why the minimum is 3 days. You can see based on this example here, my daily budget has to be $200 per day, and I have to spend $66 per audience that I test. So again, that just means I have to be a little bit more aggressive and spend more money each day. Now, if you don't have $200 a day to spend into that, then you have to pick maybe 5 days or 10 days. So just keep that in mind. That's why I have these different structures. Now, in this example, let's say I'm picking 5 days as how quickly I want to get my results back. That means that I need to spend $40 per audience, and my daily budget is $120 per day. So now I've gathered and I know exactly how many audiences I'm going to test. I'm going to wait 5 days to get my test results back. My daily budget's $40 per audience, and my total budget that I'm going to be running per day is $120. So hopefully this makes sense. Maybe watch this a few times to understand it. This should be fairly straightforward. But I know if it's a new thing that you're learning as we're going through numbers, it can get overwhelming. But again, all you have to do is fill this out, and then this will automatically give you the numbers you need to aim for. So just like that, we now know exactly what our break-even cost per acquisition is, our break-even cost per call is, our target conversion rate, our target cost per click. We now know all of that, and that's going to be highlighted in green. And then in the second calculator that you filled out, you now know exactly how many audiences you want to test. So let's say you want to test 3 audiences. You want your test results back in 5 days. That means your daily budget across all the audiences is $120 a day, and your daily budget per audience is $40. And your total budget for the full testing period is $600. So just like that, now we have everything mapped up and we have all of our metrics. So the action item I want you to focus on is fill out your calculating your ranges worksheet to get your KPIs. So that is calculating your ranges. Fill this out, putting your selling price, your cost of goods, and your closing rate, and everything else will auto-calculate for you. So you don't even have to lift a finger after that. Then step number 2 is fill out your testing budget calculator to calculate your daily budget and finalize the audiences you will be testing. So go to your testing budget calculator, put in your target cost per call, then figure out how many days of how quickly you want your test results back, whether that's 10 days, 5 days, or 3 days. Put how many audiences you want to test. I recommend 3 to start, and that will automatically tell you what your daily budget needs to be and how much you need to spend per day per audience, and you'll have everything you need at that point, and you're good to go. And with that out of the way, I will see you in the next lesson. So make sure to complete these action items, and I'll see you in the next lesson, which is setting up your ad account and making sure we have all the tech set up for us to be able to launch our campaigns. So finish these action items, and I'll see you in the next lesson. All right, in this lesson, we're gonna go over pre-launch tech. So before you launch your ad campaigns, there's a few things we have to do on the tech side to make sure everything's set up so we can run our ads smoothly. And that's setting up our ad account, verifying our domain, and setting up our pixels. So let's walk through how to do this step by step, starting with setting up your ad account. Now, if you already have your ad account set up, you can skip this step, but if you don't have your ad account set up, there's a full tutorial here that shows you how to do that, as well as step by step, everything you need to do to set up your ad account the right way. Now, make sure to go to the pinned comment below or in our description to actually get our free course notes so you can get access to this full document that has all the notes I'm covering. So that's the first step, is setting up your ad account. All the steps are listed below. I would do this with you live, but I can't because there's certain things that I can't do live because it's going to ask me to verify certain pieces of data that I can't do. But just watch the tutorial and fill out these steps and set up your ad account. The next step that we have to do is we have to verify our domain. Again, when it comes to verifying your domain, there's a full tutorial attached on how to verify your domain with your Facebook ad account. This is important if you need to have this done in order to run your ads. It's a very quick and easy process, so you can go ahead and do that. Again, I can't do that on that account because I've already verified my domain. And then the second step we have to do is we have to set up our pixel and our tracking. And what our pixel and our tracking is, a pixel actually allows us to track the results from our ads. So it'll show us how many people click on our ads, how many people schedule a call. So it's important we get this set up. I can actually do this with you live because it's very easy. So all we have to do on Go High Level to actually set this up is I'm going to go into our funnel that we created. And then what we're going to do is we are going to go into our ad account. So I'm just going to go into our ads manager really quick. Once we're in our ads manager, what we're going to do is we are going to go into, if it lets me do this, if it loads, I'm going to go under campaigns, then I'm going to go under all tools, and I'm going to hit events manager right here. So once I'm in events manager here, what I'm going to go under is I'm actually going to go one level deeper into data sources. Once I'm in data sources, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click add events. Once I'm under add events, I'm going to click add new integration. I'm going to click that. I'm then going to hit Metapixel, this button right here. I'm going to hit setup. I'm going to put manually add code to your website. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to hit get started. That's going to give me this base code here. I'm going to hit copy code. I'm going to get out of here. And it says to paste the pixel code into the bottom of the header section just above the head tag. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go inside of high level. I'm going to go to settings. So I'm going to go into the funnel and I'm going to add the head tracking code there. And I can also put in the body tracking code, but I'm going to put it in both of these areas. So that way the pixel is actually set up. I'm going to go ahead and hit save. I take a second here, but we'll know this works if we go to the live page here. And now we can see if I use the Facebook Pixel Helper, which is a free plugin that you can get, it's now showing that the page view and the pixel has been installed. So that's all you have to do to get the pixel set up is you just have to get that code there manually. And then you have to put it into the head tracking page. All you got to do is hit settings and you'll typically see a head tracking code and a body tracking code. Just attach that there and that's good. Then the next step we have to do is we have to add our schedule pixel. And the way we're going to add our schedule pixel and get that done is the pixel event that we're aiming for schedule. And what schedule is that allows Facebook to track every single time someone books a call with us. That's labeled as a schedule. And that's what we're going to be optimizing with our ad campaigns is a schedule. So here's how we're going to insert our schedule pixel. We need to insert that on our call confirmation page. So if you remember what the call confirmation page, it is the final page in the funnel that links people to this page here after they book in a call that goes over the next steps and has a video breaking down how to prepare for the call. The reason we want to put a pixel on this page here is because the only way they land on this page is if they booked a call with us. So that way Facebook knows whenever someone lands on this page, they booked in a call. So we need to make sure that we can track this page as a schedule. So the way we're going to do that, we're going to go under Events Manager. So once we're here, we're going to go under Add Events. We're going to hit Add New Integration. We're going to hit Metapixel. We're going to hit Setup. And what we're going to click here is we're going to hit the Event Setup tool. That's what we're going to click. We're going to hit Get Started. We're going to click Open Event Setup tool. And we're going to put in the website URL. So what we're going to do is we are going to take the website URL of our call confirmation page, which you should already have created. Once we're there, we're going to paste that in and we're going to click Open Website. And once that's in here, this should load, hopefully the pixel helper. There we go. So it's going to show events on this page and nothing actually pops up. So what we're going to do to actually add our schedule is we're going to hit track a URL. We're going to click that. We're going to hit select an event. We're going to add the schedule pixel that we have set up. And then instead of URL equals, we're going to put URL contains. And then once we have that, we're going to go ahead and hit confirm. Now what this means is it's basically telling Facebook that whenever someone lands on this URL here, count them as a schedule because we know the only way they can land on this page is if they book a call. So we're going to hit confirm. And just like that, we have our schedule pixel set up. So our schedule pixel is now on this page. And now whenever someone lands on here, Facebook knows someone books in a call. So that's how we get our schedule pixel set up. All right. And just like that, you should have your pixel set up. So we have the pixel and schedule event set up. And that's everything we need to do to actually launch our ad campaigns. So make sure you set up your ad account, follow the instructions here, then verify your domain, watching this video here on how to do that, and then set up your pixel by adding it into the head tracking code and then adding the schedule pixel on your call confirmation page. And that should be all good. And all you have to do to verify that, get the Facebook Pixel Helper plugin and then go onto those pages and it should fire. You should see page view and schedule on the right page. And that's how you know everything's set up correctly. And once you've done that, now you have everything set up and we can go ahead into the next lesson and actually launch our ad campaigns. So I'll see you there. All right. In this lesson, we're going over launching your ad campaigns. So congratulations. If you made it this far, you have everything you need to start launching your ad campaigns. So I'm going to walk you through step by step how to launch your ad campaigns so you can hopefully start getting some meetings and clients from it. So let's dive right into it. And we'll start with step number 1, which is reviewing your targets and metrics. So if you remember in the lesson where we set up our targets and metrics, we want to review that so we have that handy. So open up your targets and metrics sheet here that should already be filled out. And what you want to do is you want to fill out your break-even CPA, your break-even cost per call, and your target conversion rate and cost per click. You want to have that and actually write that out so you have that front of mind of what you're aiming for with your ad campaigns. So in this example here, when I fill this out, my break-even cost per acquisition was 1,000. My break-even cost per call was 200. Our target conversion rate, remember, is 3%, and that gave me a cost per click of $6. So I'm going to write that all here. just like that. So that way I know exactly what I'm aiming for. And then the second thing I need to write out is our testing budget calculator, where you want to put out the number of audiences you're testing, the number of days for getting back your results, your combined daily budget, and your budget for audience. Once we have these metrics, we're going to plug this in here, where our budget is $120 per day and $40 per audience. And the way I'm getting that is I'm just getting that from right here. Our daily budget is $120, and our daily budget for each audience we test is $40. And we're running a 5-day test, which I'm just getting from right here. So that way, we have all of our targets and metrics front of mind of exactly what we're aiming for, and we know what's required to get our ads to be profitable and at least break even. Then once we have that, we move on to step number 2, which is getting everything linked up in a location. So I like to have my ad copy in a Google document just like this. So make sure to have your headline and your body copy in one central location. And the reason we do this is we don't want to be, scrambling to get all this stuff when we're launching our campaigns. It's much easier if you have everything in one area. Then we want to link our ad creative. So I typically just upload my video ad to Google Drive, just like this. And then I get the link, and then I link that to my ad creative. Then we want to link our targeting options. So your targeting should already be filled out here in this sheet here. And if we're testing 3 different audiences, because that's what I'm testing in this example, we want to actually write that out. The location, the age that we're going after, the gender. For most of you, it's going to be male and female, whatever your age is for your ideal client. Location, which locations you're going to be targeting, whether it's US, Canada, Australia, just write which targeting areas you want to you want to target rather. And then put in your interests, right? So in this example, the first interest I'm going to target is my lookalike audience number 1 that I created, then a Shopify interest, and then Gary Vaynerchuk, because again, I'm going after e-commerce owners. And then we want to put our destination URL, which is just our website link. So that way we have everything linked up in a location. We know what we're aiming for, and we have all our raw materials. Now we can move on to step number 3, which is actually setting up and launching our campaign. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to go into our ads manager. We're going to go ahead and hit create. Once we're on create, we're going to hit the leads objective here. We're going to go ahead. We're going to name our campaign. I'm just going to name it test 1-step call funnel. Then once we've done that, we're going to hit continue. Click manual leads campaign. Make sure not to click the other one. Click manual leads campaign. From here, we're going to fill this out. So the first thing here is categories. Most of you are not going to have to select a special category like credit, employment, housing, or social issues. You're only really going to need to select housing if you're running ads for like real estate agents and that's your niche. But for most of you, you're going to leave this empty. Buying type, we're going to keep as auction. Campaign objective, we're going to keep as leads. Make sure A/B test is turned off and advanced campaign budget is turned off as well. So it should look like this. Then from here, we're going to hit next. And what we're going to name our ad set is the name of the first audience we're going to test. So in this case, the first audience is my lookalike audience number 1. So I'm going to take that, go to my ads manager, and name the ad set lookalike audience number 1. And this is going to make more sense as we go along, and you can see how this naming convention works. Then we're going to select website. For the conversion, we want to make sure it's on our website, not an instant form. Performance goal, maximize number of conversions. That's good. We're going to select our pixel. So you should see your pixel here, and you're going to click that. For conversion event, you want to make sure you click schedule. So your schedule pixel should already be set up, and we've set up the schedule on our call confirmation page so we can measure the amount of people who book a call from our ads, and that's what we're optimizing for is booked calls. So that's why we're going to select the schedule conversion event. You can leave the cost per result goal blank. You don't need to do that. Turn dynamic creative on. And then for your daily budget, this is per audience, right? So remember, our budget per audience in this example, when I filled it out, was $40 per audience. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to put the budget to $40 for this audience. And then once we do that, we're going to scroll down. And what we're going to click is you can see it says audience controls and advantage plus audience. What we're going to click is click switch to original audience options. It's going to give you a warning saying up to 33% lower cost. Don't worry about that. Just hit use original audience. Then once you're here, what we're going to do is we are going to select our audience. Now, in this case, because I'm going after my lookalike audience number 1, a lookalike audience is going to show up under custom audiences. So I'm going to search my existing audience. I'm going to select a lookalike audience number 1. So yours is already going to pop up if you have a lookalike audience. You're going to select that. The location, just leave blank. The reason we're going to leave the location blank is because this lookalike audience is already targeting people in the US. So we're just going to leave that blank. If you want, you can put in the location to US if you want, but just leave the age open. Actually, I'll put the age to 25 to 65, like so. We don't need to worry about detailed targeting or anything because we're targeting our lookalike audience. And just like that, we're good. We're gonna hit next, and I'm gonna be targeting all genders, both male and female. Again, if you are just going after male, feel free to do that. And again, the reason I'm not putting a location in this one is because this is a lookalike audience just targeting people in USA. So I'm gonna go ahead, hit next, and then we're gonna actually select the pages that we want. So we actually need to make sure, personal page here. I'm gonna select the right page, which is your page. You're not gonna have a bunch of pages. The reason that showed up is that we have a bunch of clients. So just put your Facebook page here. You don't need to have an Instagram account. If you have an Instagram account linked up, great. I ran all of my ads just on my Facebook page. Now, if you just have a Facebook page, you're still gonna show ads on Instagram as well. So don't worry, but it's optional to add an Instagram account. But add your Facebook page for sure. That's gonna be needed. Then for your ad setup, what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep that at manual upload, single image or video, multi-advertisers ads, we can deselect that. And then what we're gonna do is we're going to upload our creative. So we're gonna hit select videos. Now in your case, you're going to have to hit upload here and upload your creative if you don't have it already. And once you hit upload, it's gonna ask you to upload the file, and then you would just upload your Google Drive, the video that's gonna be attached here. So if I go right here, that is this ad creative. So you would download this and then upload that into the ad manager. I'm not gonna do that because I already have the video here. So I'm gonna click that, hit continue. I have my video created. Then we're gonna insert our primary text. Our primary text is the body copy. So I'm gonna open up my ad copy. I'm gonna take the body copy like so. I'm gonna copy that, go to the ad manager and paste that in just like that. I'm gonna hit the backspace here, make sure it all looks pretty. Then I'm gonna add my headline. So I'm gonna take this headline, guaranteed 10x ROI, bingo bongo, add that in like that. I'm gonna add another headline option. And that's what dynamic creative allows you to do. It allows you to have multiple pieces of body copy and headlines. I typically keep the same body copy and I'll just put in like 2 headlines for the sake of it. That's just what I've always personally done. So that's gonna test 2 different headlines. We don't need to fill out description. And then we're gonna put in our website URL. And our website URL is our destination URL. And that's why I like to have everything in one location. It just makes things easy. You can see I'm not really scrambling. I'm just posting things in. That's the website. That's all good. Don't need to worry about display link. We don't need to worry about any of these. The browser add-ons, keep that at none. Keep the call to action to learn more. That's what I've always used. Traxing, put website event. It's gonna automatically select your pixel, so you're all good. And what you can do is you can look at a preview of what your ads are gonna look like on different platforms. Not platforms, but different areas. Like this is what it looks like on the feed section on Facebook, the feed section on Instagram, marketplace, all stories. It shows you what it looks like. I don't really worry too much about this, but I just typically just do a quick glance to make sure everything's good, and you can actually see what your ad is gonna look like. You can see it's gonna see your profile, it's a sponsored post, and you can look through that and just give it a quick glance over to make sure everything's good. And just like that, we have the ad completed. And then all we have to do at this point is we're not gonna publish it just yet. We're gonna exit out of here. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the ad set level. And what we're gonna do is the ad set level. So the first is our campaign. So think of the campaign as the overall campaign. Within each campaign, there are ad sets. An ad set is where we're gonna be testing different audiences. So within the first ad set, now that this is created and we have it set up, what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit duplicate. Number of copies, we're gonna click 1. That's gonna duplicate this campaign. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna change this ad set name to the second audience we're gonna test, which in this case, I'm gonna be testing Shopify. So I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna change this ad set name to Shopify. Then all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get rid of this custom audience, get rid of that. And then we're going to fill this detailed targeting options. I'm going to need to put in the locations, which is United States and Canada, because those were the 2 locations I wanted to test. 25 to 65, all genders, and detailed targeting. That's where I'm gonna search for Shopify. And under interests, I click that and we're good to go. So everything else stays the same. That's why we duplicated it. The only thing that changed was just the targeting, right? So it's the exact same ad. Like you can see, it's the exact same ad. That's why you wanna create it once under one audience. And once you have it set up, we simply duplicate it and then change the audience that we target. So we're gonna do that one more time. We're gonna hit duplicate. And then we're gonna change this to our final audience, which is Gary Vaynerchuk. I'm gonna go here, put this Gary Vaynerchuk. This all stays the same. Get rid of Shopify. And instead, I'm gonna put Gary V, just like that. And again, the budget all stays the same, $40. Then once we have that, we have everything set up. We have our campaign, we have the 3 audiences we wanna target, which is Gary Vaynerchuk, Shopify, and our lookalike audience, each at $40 a day. So that's a total of $120 per day with this campaign. And then what we're going to do once we have this set up is we're going to select one ad set. So one of these audiences. We don't want to publish all three at once, because if we publish all three of these audiences at once, and let's say for whatever reason the ad gets rejected, it's not good to have 3 rejections at once. Instead, what we want to do is we want to test and publish one ad set first. And once that gets approved, then we have the good to go, and then we can easily launch the remaining 2 ad sets and it's going to get approved. It's just a safer way to do things, especially if you're launching like 10 ad sets. You don't want to launch them all together, because if they all get rejected, that's not going to look good in your ad account. You want to launch one ad set first. Once that gets approved, then you launch the rest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just select any one of these, hit edit, and then you would hit publish, and that would launch that campaign. And typically it takes 24 hours to 48 hours for it to get approved by Meta and Facebook and Instagram to actually go live. Now, I'm not going to publish it because this is just a test campaign, but you would just hit publish here. And once you hit that publish button, it's going to say in review. And then typically in 24 to 48 hours, it's going to say processing and live, right? And then you'll know once it's live. Once you get the notification that your campaign's been live, you're also going to get an email from Meta that once it goes live. Then let's say it goes live. What you're going to do is you're going to select the remaining 2 ad sets, because now that you have the good to go, you'll hit edit. You'll select both of the remaining 2 campaigns, which for whatever reason is not letting me do. Let's just say that's Shopify and Gary Vaynerchuk, and we've already published the lookalike audience. It's not letting me do that. But what you do is you just hit publish on that one, and then you'd select the other one, go into it, and then hit publish on that as well. And then all of your campaigns have been launched, and your initial launch campaign is live. So give yourself a pat on the back. You've launched your ad campaign. Then from there, what we're going to do is step number 4 is our reporting cadence, because now that we've actually published our campaigns, we need to make sure we're reporting and we're staying on top of things so we have a pulse of how our ads are performing. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to use our daily reporting sheet. So we're going to click that. I've already linked this. It's a sheet that you can model and copy. And all we're going to do is we're going to fill out the information here every single day. So let me show you how to get this data so we can fill this out. So let's say once our campaigns go live, here's just a sample campaign that I used to show you this. We're going to go, instead of the campaign level, we're going to look at the ad set level. And this is where we're going to get our metrics. So you can see up top here, you can see the columns tab. Yours might be on performance or a default setting. What we want to click is performance and clicks. Then once we're on performance and clicks, it's going to give us all the data we want. So here's how we're going to do that. We're going to go ahead, open up our tracking sheet here. We're going to put the date. So let's say in this case, this is September 21st. Don't want that in all caps. September 21st. Then we're going to grab the ad spend that day for this campaign, which is $990. So we're going to take that. We're going to put that under the ad spend category. Then we're going to get the impressions. So the impressions is simply how many people Facebook and Instagram decide to show that ad to, which in this case was 19,799. So we'll paste that. Then the next one is our CPM, which stands for cost per thousand. So this is how much Meta and Facebook charge you to have 1,000 people see your ad. So in this case, it's about $50. So I'm going to take that, put that right here. Then the next one is our link clicks, which here is 162. So I'm going to take that, copy that, and put that right here. And then we have our link click-through rate. The way I'm going to get that is you can see our link click-through rate right here. Click-through rate link. I'm going to copy that and put that right here. And once we put that in, the next thing is our cost per click. The way we're going to get our cost per click is $612 right here. So we'll take our 612, put this in right here. Oopsies. Don't know why that looked bold. There we go. And then we're going to get how many meetings and schedules we got. And if we set up our pixel correctly, that should track that data. So you can see here, this day, there was 13 schedules. So 13 meetings booked from this $990 in ad spend. So we're going to take the 13 and we'll put that in. Oopsies, not 14, 13. Cost per meeting. So our cost per result is $76.21. We can see that right here, cost per result. So again, Facebook will automatically give us that data. Now, Facebook is sometimes wrong, meaning sometimes they'll over-report or under-report. So it's important for you to also look internally, look at how many calls were booked that day. So just look at your Calendly account or whatever you're using to just double verify that, because sometimes the Facebook reporting is off by 10 to even 30% sometimes. So you want to verify that. And then it's not going to track sales because there's no way to feed that data back. But let's just say this day there was one sale. That means our cost per acquisition was $990. So what you're going to do is you want to fill this information out every single day. Every 24 24 hours, you're going to go back and fill the previous day's data, right? That's going to give you a pulse of everything for you to track, right? You want to make sure that you're actively tracking the data so you can see any trends. If you just leave it up to chance and you're not filling this out every single day, you can lose money. Tests can go longer than they need to. And you want to make sure you have a pulse of things because you're spending your money. You need to treat it like such. You can't just freely leave it. So make sure you fill this tracking sheet every single day. So now that we've gone over that, the action item I want you to focus on is launch your ad campaigns until each audience has spent the target cost per call. So follow steps 1 to 3 here to actually launch your ad campaigns. And you want to launch your ad campaigns until each audience has spent your target cost per call, which in this case, I need to run my ads for 5 days in order to do that. So if you remember in this sheet here, I'll just pull this up really quickly. My target cost per call was $200. And that means I need to run my test for about 5 days because that's what I selected. So we're going to run this test until each audience has spent our target cost per call, which in this case is $200. And I'm going to complete my daily reporting every single day. So I'm going to fill the sheet out every 24 hours. So that's what you're going to do. Complete those action items, get those done. If you have any comments, drop them below if you have any questions regarding this, but just get this done. And once you've done that, congratulations, you've launched your ad campaigns, you're reporting and you're tracking them, and get that done. And I'll see you in the next lesson, which is assessing the results from our launch. So we know the next steps and we know what we need to do from there. So I'll see you in the next lesson. All right, in this lesson, we're going to go over assessing campaign results post-launch. And the objective of this lesson is to review the data from our initial launch once each audience has spent the target cost per call to identify the next course of action to either optimize or scale our campaigns. So let's dive into how to do that. So after you launch your initial campaigns and each audience has spent their target cost per call, there's going to be 3 doors. There's going to be 3 situations and outcomes that can happen. So door number 1 is your audiences are at your cost per call target. So my cost per call target was $200 and I tested 3 audiences. If one of my audiences is at $200, that's awesome. Or under $200. That means my audiences are at my cost per call target. The second door and outcome that can happen is your audiences are at your cost per click target, but not your cost per call target. And the third door is audiences are out of your cost per call target and your cost per click target. So it's not working altogether. Those are the 3 outcomes. Either your audiences are working at your target cost per call, either your audience are at your cost per click target, but not your cost per call target, or your audiences are outside of your cost per call target and your cost per click target. So here's how we're going to handle every single one of these doors. So door number 1 is our audiences are at our cost per call target. So if our target cost per call is $200, and let's say I have an audience that's getting me calls for under $200, now we're going to enter the scaling phase. And we have a whole video on that, but the scaling phase is when we're going to start scaling that ad and that audience to get us as many calls as possible, right? We're going to start ramping that up so we can get more calls coming in because it's working. Door number 2 is audiences are at our cost per click target, but not our cost per call target. So what we're going to do is we want to make sure that we run that audience until it has at least 100 clicks. The reason we want at least 100 clicks is because that gives us 100 people who are going to be onto the landing page in our funnel, and we can see if our funnel converts at least 3%. Now, in most cases off your initial test, if you're at your target cost per click, that audience likely doesn't have 100 clicks yet because we're testing at a small budget typically to start. So what you want to do is you want to run that audience until it has at least 100 clicks. Now, once it has 100 clicks, what's going to happen is one of 2 scenarios. Once it has 100 clicks, that audience now might be at your cost per call target. And if that's the case, you're going to enter the scaling phase and we're going to start ramping it up. Now, if after that audience gets 100 clicks and there's still no calls and it's outside of your cost per call target, then you're going to enter the optimization phase and turn that audience off. You're just going to turn it off. So I'm going to repeat that. If your audience is at your cost per click target, but not your cost per call target, you're going to run that audience until it has 100 clicks. Once it has 100 clicks, if that audience is now generating you calls at your cost per call target, we're going to enter the scaling phase. We're going to start ramping that up to get us more calls because now it's performing. If after 100 clicks, it's still not getting us calls at our target cost per call, we're going to enter the optimization phase, which I'm going to go through. It's a whole separate section where we fix that campaign. But what you need to do in the meantime is turn it off. And the third door is your audiences are out of your cost per call target and outside of your cost per click target. So what this means is we're going to enter our optimization phase because all this means here is our campaigns are not working. And our optimization phase is where we're going to fix that campaign, figure out what's not working, and then make the appropriate adjustment. So you want to turn off that campaign. So again, In door number 1, you're going to enter the scaling phase because your audiences are working. In door number 2, if your audience are at your cost per click target, but not your cost per call target, run it until you get 100 clicks. Once you get 100 clicks, if you're now getting calls at your cost per call target, you're going to enter the scaling phase. If you're not getting calls at your cost per call target after 100 clicks, we're going to turn off that campaign and enter the optimization phase. And door number 3, if your audiences are outside of your cost per call target and outside of your cost per click target, we're going to turn off that campaign and enter the optimization phase. So the action item I want you to focus on is assess your results post-launch to determine what door you'll enter and what you need to do. So assess the campaign results, right? Let's say hypothetically, from 3 of your audiences, 1 audience is at your cost per call target. Great. That means you're going to enter the scaling phase. Let's say the other audience is at your cost per click target, but not your cost per call target. We're going to run that till it has 100 clicks. And let's say there's still no calls that are going to be booked. We're going to turn that campaign off and enter the optimization phase. And let's say like your last audience is outside of your cost per click target and your cost per call target. We're going to turn that off and enter the optimization phase hypothetically. So hopefully this makes sense. I know these concepts might be new, but all you have to do for now is assess your results post-launch to determine what doors you'll enter and what stage you're entering, whether that's the scaling stage or the optimization phase. So go do that, and I'll see you in the next lesson, which is going to go through how to handle the optimization phase. And there's another lesson that goes through how to handle the scaling phase. So you're going to see those next 2 lessons on how to handle each one of these outcomes. So I'll see you in the next lesson. All right. In this lesson, we're going to go over optimizing your ad campaigns. And you enter the optimization phase when you launch your ad campaigns and one or multiple of your metrics are outside of your KPIs, so your ads are not profitable. Now, the good news for you is we have processes and tools to optimize each metric that's outside of KPI. So we always know what our next move is until we can get things at our target KPI and our ads are running profitably. Now, make sure to go to the pinned comment or in the description to download the free course notes because the tools I'm going to go over are extremely valuable. So make sure to get access to that. So the optimization phase consists of 3 core stages. Stage number 1 is we identify the bottleneck in our campaign. Stage number 2 is we optimize that bottleneck with the correct tool. And then stage number 3 is we run the new test with the optimization and we measure the results. We see if that test worked or if it didn't. So let's dive into each one of these in more detail, starting with stage number 1, which is identifying the bottleneck in your campaigns. And all we're doing here is we're simply figuring out which part of our ads or our funnel is outside of our KPI and what to prioritize and optimize first. And the way we're going to do this is we're going to use the identifying the bottleneck tool. So we're going to go ahead and open this document here. And this is a tool that we can use to show us what to optimize in what order. So the first thing is we want to review our metrics. So if you remember our metrics here that we had, you can look at your campaigns and you can see, okay, which part of your campaign is off? Maybe your conversion rate is below 3%. Maybe your cost per click is too high and that's outside of your target. That's why your metrics aren't working. So you want to identify what is off. What is the metric that is off? Then once we're here, it's typically going to be one of these things. Either your cost per click is outside of your KPI, which is most common, or your landing page conversion rate is outside of KPI, your show up rate is outside of KPI, or your closing rate is outside of KPI. In most cases, it's either going to be your cost per click or your landing page that's outside of KPI. Once you've identified which metric is outside of KPI, we're going to drill into it. So let's say your cost per click is the problem. Your cost per click is what is outside of KPI. Here's how we're going to fix that. If we have a high click-through rate all, which is over 1%, and a low unique outbound click-through rate, which is under 1%, that means we have low quality ad copy. So we need new ad copy to test. Now, if you're wondering where to get that data, we are going to go into our ad campaigns and our ad manager here. Once we're in our ad manager, we want to make sure we see the following data: our unique outbound click-through rate and our click-through rate all. This should show up. If it doesn't, what you're going to do is you're going to hit customize columns. And once you hit customize columns, just type in unique outbound click-through rate, make sure that's clicked and hit apply. And then make sure you have click-through rate all. So type that in, select it and hit apply. And that will show up in your tabs here so you can actually get this data. So going back to the sheet here, if you have a high, again, if our cost per click is outside of KPI, the first thing we're going to look at is if we have a high click-through rate all. So if we have an over 1% click-through rate, but a low unique outbound click-through rate, so that's this, a low unique outbound click-through rate under 1%, but our click-through rate all is over 1%, that means we need new ad copy to test. Just new ad copy. We don't need to come up with a whole new ad. We just need to test new ad copy. If we have a low click-through rate all, which is under 1%, so if our click-through rate all is under 1%, but we have a high unique outbound click-through rate, which is over 1%, that means we have low quality creative. So we either need to change our video ad or our image. So in most cases, you're going to be changing your video ad and shooting a new video ad. That is a new creative. Now, if we have a low click-through rate all, which is under 1%, and a low unique outbound click-through rate, which is also under 1%, that means we have low creative and low creative copy and creative. So we need a new ad altogether. So in this case, you have to start and create a whole new ad. You need a new angle, new body copy, and new creative. Now, if you have a high CPM, and what a CPM is again, that's our cost per thousand. So if you notice that your cost per thousand is unusually high, like it's $100 or it's just incredibly high, Facebook's charging you a lot for those eyeballs, but you have a good click-through rate, which is over 1%, and a good outbound click-through rate, which is over 1%, you want to test new audiences. So that's how we're going to identify what our action needs to be. So again, if your cost per click is outside of KPI, just simply follow this. Look at which variable is off. If you have a low click-through rate, but a high unique outbound click-through rate, that means you have low quality creative and you need to create a new video ad. So you can see you're just going to follow this to identify what the course of action needs to be. That's if your cost per click is outside of KPI. Now, let's say your cost per click is within KPI, but your conversion rate is what's outside of KPI. It's under 3%. Again, we want to make sure our funnel is converting at least 3%. So here's how we're going to fix that. If less than 10% of people are clicking onto the scheduling page, which is the next step in the funnel, if you remember, the first page is the landing page that has our video sales letter, and the next page they click is where they actually book a call. If less than 10% of people are clicking onto the schedule page, we need to optimize our landing page. So the way we can get that data, I'm in a test account right now. You can see here in this funnel that only 2% or only 2 people out of 86 unique people have actually landed onto the booking page. That means that we need to fix that landing page because it's under 10%. A good landing page will have at least 10% of people clicking over to the booking page here. So we know we need to fix that. So that's how we can actually see that data. Now, if over 10% of people are landing on the scheduling page, but under 10% are booking a call, then we have to optimize the booking page. So let's say, going back to this, over 10% of people are actually clicking and making their way to the booking page, but less than 10% of people who land on the booking page are booking a call. That means we need to optimize the booking page. It needs to be more clear. Maybe we need multiple call to actions or calendars that are embedded. That's the problem in that case. That's how we know what we need to fix. So that's if your conversion rate's low. You're either going to be optimizing your landing page or your booking page. Next, if your cost per click and your conversion rate's within KPI, but you have a low show up rate, now I'm going to go through this as well. Now, if your show up rate's under 70% over 10 calls, you need to optimize your show up rate. And we have tools to do all of these, so don't worry. Now, if your cost per click and your conversion rate and your show up rate's all within KPI, but your closing rate is outside of KPI after 20 conducted calls, and let's say you're closing under 20%, here's how we're going to optimize that. If you don't have a structured sales script you can follow for each call successfully with confidence, you need to optimize your sales script. If you struggle to handle objections towards the end of your call, and you're getting the same objections, you need to optimize your objection handling. If you're consistently getting ghosted by prospects on your follow-up calls, that's kind of a symptom of both optimizing your sales script and your follow-up process. So you can see this is how we can drill down to figure out which part we need to fix. The data will give us the answers. Now, if all of your metrics are outside of KPI from your initial launch, meaning everything's out of whack, go to optimizing the cost per click section first. So start by looking at your cost per click section and then take the appropriate action. So again, if everything's out of whack, start by optimizing your cost per click and look at these steps first. Now, the next thing that you can go through is when to overhaul your offer. Because you can go through this cycle, you can enter this optimization phase where you keep testing new things and it's not working. Now, if you tried 10 different ad creative tests, you tried 10 different audiences, like let's say you have a cost per click plateau, like your cost per click is your problem, and that is always your bottleneck, and you keep testing new things, but you can't get your cost per click where it needs to be, and you've tried at least 10 different ad creative tests, you've tried 10 different audiences, outcome number one is if your click-through rate all is above 1% and your unique outbound click-through rate is above 1%, and still you're above cost per click KPI, you need to overhaul the offer. So I'm going to read that again. Outcome number one, if your click-through rate all is above 1% and your unique outbound click-through rate is above 1% and you're still above your cost per click KPI, you need to overhaul the offer. You need to create a new offer because your offer is just not viable and it's not resonating. Outcome number two is your cost per click is still outside KPI and your click-through rate all and your unique outbound click-through rate is below 1%, you need to overhaul your offer. So in both cases, if you tried at least 10 different ad creative tests, 10 different audiences, and your stuff's still not working, you're going to have to overhaul your offer and create a whole new offer to test because the market's telling you it's not resonating. Stage number two is if you have a conversion rate plateau. So if you have a conversion rate plateau, and you've tried at least 10 different conversion rate optimizations and your conversion rate is still below KPI, you have to overhaul your offer because it's showing you that your offer is not resonating. But again, we need to do a lot of optimizations before we do a complete offer overhaul. So hopefully that makes sense. Again, might be something you need to watch multiple times, but all we're doing right now is we're in this first step, we're just identifying what the bottleneck is. If we have a cost per click is outside of KPI or a conversion rate, whatever it is, we're just going to look and figure out what is the bottleneck. What do we need to fix? Once we've identified what the bottleneck is, and the answer should be very clear once you go through this and you look at the data, you'll be like, okay, I need new creative only. Or you'll be like, I need to optimize the landing page. It'll be very clear what you need to fix. Then stage number 2 is once we know what the bottleneck is, because stage number 2 is optimizing the bottleneck with the correct tool. Once we know what the bottleneck is, it's time to optimize it with the correct marketing tool to get things at KPI. And the way we're going to do this is we're going to use the optimizing the bottleneck tool. So we're going to open this tool up. And the beauty about this tool here is whatever you were pointed to. So you can see in this first tool here, let's say, for example, your conversion rates outside of KPI, you have less than 10% of people going onto the scheduling page. That means you have to optimize your landing page. The beauty about here is depending on your situation, we have tools to fix every single one of these. So if you need to increase your landing page conversion rate, you can see we have a full video and tutorial breaking down how to increase your conversion rate. Literally step by step, how to fix it, how to fix your text, how do you fix your copy, how to fix everything, the ad, everything step by step on how to fix that if that is the bottleneck for you. So for every single one of the scenarios you can run into, we have specific videos and tutorials on how to fix that bottleneck. So you can go ahead and fix it for everything, how to optimize your cost per click, how to optimize your conversion rate, how to optimize your show up rate, how to optimize your closing rate. Literally everything is in here, from what sales script to use, how to objection handle, how to follow up, how to create a new offer. Everything is in here. So no matter what your bottleneck is and what you need to do, once you move on to step number 2, which is optimizing the bottleneck with the correct tool, we have tools for every single bottleneck, so you will always know how to fix that. I'm trying to streamline this process to make, if you know how valuable this is, this took a lot of time to put together, and this is going to save you so much headache, because this is the beauty about this. Once you identify what the bottleneck is, we have the exact tool on how to fix it, and then you can go ahead and fix it. Now, I'm not going to play all these videos, or else this video would be really long. That's why you need to make sure you go to the pinned description or in the comment section to actually get this free course that has all this data and all these tools that you get for free. So that's step number 2 is, let me go back here, a lot of documents we have open, is we're going to use the optimizing the bottleneck tool to know what the tool we have to use is and then actually fix it. So again, let's say my conversion rate is outside of KPI and the action item I need to take is I need to optimize my landing page. I then go to my optimizing the bottleneck tool. Then I go to this video here in this tool, optimizing my conversion rate. I go ahead and open that. I watch this video that breaks down exactly what to do. And let's say I need to create a new headline. I open this up and there's a whole tutorial on how to redo your headline and how to tweak that, right? So everything, no matter what your situation is, I know I sound like a broken record, everything's taken care of. You have all the tools to fix the bottleneck. Then stage number 3 is you run a new test with the optimization and you measure the result. So once we've identified the bottleneck and we implemented the tool to fix it, we launch our new test. So for example, let's say we go through that and we figure out we need to optimize our landing page and we're going to create a new headline. We've optimized our headline onto our landing page. Now we're going to relaunch our ads with that optimized headline to see if our conversion rate is going to increase and see if our ads are now profitable and we're within KPI. So once we've made that test, we're going to do this using the optimization testing tracker. You want to make sure you're actually keeping track of all of your tests. So in this example, let's say your cost per click is what's outside of KPI. What is the bottleneck, right? So the ad creative's not responding because we've already figured this out. What are we going to implement to optimize the bottleneck? We're going to create new ad creative. Did we run the test? We're going to say yes or no. And was the test successful? Yes or no? Or did the test fail? Yes or no? So then that way we can always see what tests we're running, and we're like kind of scientists at a lab. We're like, okay, here's a test we ran. Did it work? Did it not work? Right? So we're simply filling this out and launching our test and going through that cycle again and seeing if it fixed it or if it didn't. So those are the steps there. I know there's a lot of stages here. What you need to do to really ingrain this is you need to actually follow these steps. You might need to watch this a few times to really go through this because I know we covered a lot here, but I tried to streamline things. Again, just a quick recap. Stage number 1, we identify the bottleneck in your campaigns. We need to figure out what part of our ads or our funnel is outside of KPI. What is the bottleneck? So we're going to use the identifying the bottleneck tool to figure that out. If our cost per click is outside of KPI or our cost per our conversion rates outside of KPI, or our show up rate, or closing rate. Everything's in here. So you just need to drill down and then figure out which part you need to optimize. Every scenario is in here. Once you've used that tool to identify what the bottleneck is in your campaign, we're then going to use the Optimizing the Bottleneck toolkit, where we open that up, and that has all the tools to fix whatever bottleneck you run into, so you can fix that bottleneck and run a new test. Then once we've made that optimization, we run it to stage 3, where we run a new test with the optimization and we measure the results. We see if it worked or if it didn't, and we follow the optimization testing tracker to actually track that progress. So that is step by step what you need to do in the optimization phase. It is an iterative process, but if you continue and you just keep making these little optimizations over and over, it's very hard for you not to succeed with ads. So I hope you found this helpful, and I hope you got the gears turning of how this process works. The action item I want you to focus on, if you're in the optimization stage, is identify the bottleneck in your campaign, implement the optimization, and launch your new optimized test and measure it in this document here. So that's what I want you to focus on. Go through these stages, stage 1 to 3, follow the steps, identify your bottleneck, implement the optimization, and launch your new optimized test. So go ahead and do that. And once you've done that, I'll see you in the next video, which is all about scaling your campaign. So hopefully you have a couple campaigns that are ready to scale, and we'll go through how to do that in the next lesson. So I'll see you there. All right, in this lesson, I'm gonna show you how to scale your ad campaigns. And this lesson is gonna be a lot of fun, because once you know how to scale your ad campaigns, you can grow your agency very quickly. This is the same process I used to scale my ad campaigns from a couple $100 a day in ad spend to $3,000 plus per day in ad spend profitably in under a 60-day period. And that just ramped my agency off to the races. So if you know how to apply these, you can grow very quickly. So the way we're gonna do this is in 4 steps. Step number 1 is we're going to set our scaling targets and projections. Step number 2 is we're going to overview the different types of scaling strategies that you can use, and I'm going to go through every single one of them with you live. Step number 3 is we're going to launch our new scaling campaigns. And then step number 4, we're going to review and plan our next move. So let's go through everything starting from the top, which is setting our scaling targets and projections. So the first thing we have to do when we're ready to scale is set our targets on how many clients and calls we want every single month. And the way we're going to do this is using our scaling projection calculator, which is going to show you exactly what you need to spend to be able to start scaling. So the first tab here is your historic ad stats, and everything in white you need to fill out with your historic stats. So let's say, for example, you've spent $3,000 in the past 30 days on ad spend. You booked 15 calls. That means your cost per call is $200. You got 2 clients from that, so your cost per acquisition is $1,500. And the way we got that is just 3,000 divided by 2 is 1,500. Let's say your offer price is $2,000 per month. That means you collected $4,000 in new cash collected, and you added $4,000 per month in monthly reoccurring revenue if it's a reoccurring service. So we're going to place in our historic stats. Then we're going to set a monthly revenue target of how much monthly revenue we want every single month. Now we can begin scaling. So let's say the goal is you want to bring in $10,000 per month in monthly reoccurring revenue from your ads. This is going to then auto-calculate and reverse engineer what you need to do to hit those targets. So if you want to get $10,000 per month in monthly reoccurring revenue, that means your monthly ad spend needs to be $7,500 per month. That's going to generate you 38 calls based on your metrics, and that's going to give you 5 clients, because if your offer price is $2,000, 2,000 times 5 is this 10,000. So that means on a monthly level, you need to spend $7,500 per month, $1,875 per week, and $250 per day. So once we have those metrics and we know how much we need to scale our ads by, now we need to actually start raising and scaling our ad budget. So what we're gonna do here is you need to fill out your current daily spend. So let's say right now you're spending $100 per day. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start scaling. So we have 3 different ways we can scale. It just depends on your risk tolerance. So what we need to scale our ad account up to, if we wanna get to $10,000 per month in new collected revenue, is we need to spend $250 per day based on this example. So the first way, the most risk-averse way, the least risk, is you can scale your ads by 30% every single week. So if you're a little bit, you don't want to put too much risk, you want to take things slow, you can increase your budget by 30% per week. So you'd go from $100 per week to $130 per week. And then if that worked, you just continue scaling it by 30% every single week until you reach your $250 per day. The second way is a medium scaling method, where you raise your budget by 100% every single week until you reach your target. So you'd go from $100 per day to $200 per day in ad spend. You'd basically double your ad budget right away. And that's the second version. The third method is aggressive scaling. This is where you actually ramp your ad budget by 150% per week. So you'd go from $100 per day to $250 per day. We're immediately raising and scaling our budgets to our targets. So you just have to pick, depending on your goals and your ad budget, how fast do you want to scale. If you're a little bit less risky, maybe you're going to be just raising by 30% each week. If you're more aggressive like me, like I was scaling my budget by 150 every single week because I had money to spend and I want to scale things quickly. So it just depends. You just need to pick how much you want to scale from. But once you've done this and you've set out your targets and you know how much you want to increase your spend by, and we have that number, then we can move on to step number 2, which is overviewing the different scaling strategies. So I'm going to show you different ways you can actually scale your ads to really start ramping things up. Now there's 2 primary ways of scaling your ads. There's vertical scaling and horizontal scaling. Now what vertical scaling is increasing your budget on winning ad sets by 50% to 100%, and then measuring that for 3 days. And if it continues to produce results, increasing it again by another 50 to 100% until it breaks. And if performance drops, you just push it back to the previous budget. So to show you what this looks like tangibly, I'm in my ad account right now, and we have the sample campaign. And let's say this is my campaign. I'm spending $100 a day. And based on my projections, I want to scale it, let's say to $200 per day. That's my goal. I need to get it. Actually, let's say we need to ramp it to $250 per day because that's our goal. We want to get it to $250. That gets us to our targets based on our math. So what vertical scaling would look like is increasing our budget on winning ads by 50 to 100%. So a 50% increase is going from $100 per day to $150 per day. I would just make that one change and I would hit publish, and then I would launch that campaign and it would go live. And then what I would do once I've done that is I would measure that performance for 3 days. And if it continues to produce results at my target cost per call and my metrics, I would increase it again by another 50%. So let's say that worked, that test worked after 3 days, and then I'm going to go by another 50%. So then I'm going to go to $200 per day, right? And then at $200 per day, let's say that continued to produce results for another 3 days, then I would go to $250 per day. And that's vertical scaling. That is the easiest method, right? And just like that, if everything held in a perfect world, I'm already at my scaling targets. I'm at $250 per day in that campaign, and I have hit my objective, right? So that is vertical scaling. That is the easiest method. This is typically, you're not going to scale crazy amounts using vertical scaling. Sometimes you can, but the biggest method you're going to use is horizontal scaling. Horizontal scaling is when we take our winning ad and we make little adjustments to it to really take things to the next level. Because when you have an ad that is working well, that is producing you results consistently or at your target cost per call, that means that that ad is resonating with your market. There's parts of it that is working well. So what we need to do is really take things to the next level and really make little micro variations of it to take it to scale. So here's how we're going to do that. So with horizontal scaling, there's really 4 different methods we could use to horizontally scale an ad aggressively. And this is what I primarily did to scale my ads very quickly. So what it comes down to is scaling a winning ad by changing key variables of the campaign, just one key variable at a time. So method number 1 is we can duplicate a winning campaign and we keep the audience and the copy the same, but we change the creative. So to show you what that looks like is I'm in this ad account here. And let's just put this back to $100 a day. So I'll show you how I'd scale to, let's say, $250 a day horizontally. So what I would do is I would duplicate this. And I just hit duplicate with current settings. Just number of copies 1. This all looks good. I don't know what this is saying here. Duplicate using original objective and duplicate with updates. And we've duplicated the campaign. Now what we're going to do here, the first method, is like I mentioned, we keep the audience and the copy the same, but we change the creative. So what we could do here is I'm just going to label this as horizontal scaling 1. So I'm going to go into edit, and all I'm going to do is I'm not going to change anything. I'm only going to change one variable. So instead of using this video, I'm going to change this video and pick a different video. Everything else stays the same. I'm just going to upload a different video. So let's say for this case, I've shot a different video, and maybe I'm going to use this one. So I use this one instead. It's just a different creative. And then all I'm doing is I'm going to exit out of that. And let's say I test this one at $50 a day, right? Bingo. So that's the horizontal scale. All I'm doing is I duplicated that campaign and I changed one variable. I just changed the creative. So now that has me at $150 a day. The next type of method that I can do horizontally is I could duplicate that level 1 campaign. I can keep the audience and the creative the same and change the ad copy. So I'm going to hit duplicate again. Duplicate using original objective, duplicate using simplified duplicate using original objective. We'll hit duplicate here, and then I'll label this horizontal scaling 2. Exit out of here, hit edit, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to change the copy. So what what I'll do here, and that's just me changing this primary text. That's the only variable I'm going to change. Everything else stays the exact same. I'm just gonna get rid of the second one. Everything else stays the exact same. The creative stays the same, targeting, everything stays the same. All I'm doing is I'm changing the copy. So what I could do here is I could just change this by saying, looking to scale your company, we guarantee a 10x ROI working with us. I just made a small change to the creative and I can hit publish on that. And let's say this campaign, we could also put this at $50 a day, right? That's a second horizontal scaling method. So now I'm at $200 a day. The third method is I could duplicate the campaign again. I could keep the image and the copy the same and just change the audience. So again, just changing one variable. I can hit duplicate using original objective, hit duplicate. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna label this horizontal scaling number 3, hit edit. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna change the audience. So instead of targeting this bundle that I'm targeting right now, I'll just get rid of all of these. And let's just say, hypothetically, I want to just target people who are interested in Shopify, not employers, my bad. Shopify, the interest. And I put that in, just changing one variable, getting out of here. And then I'm going to put that at $50 a day. So now I'm at $250 a day. I've reached those scaling targets horizontally, right? I'm just making little variations of those. That's all I'm doing. So you can see the target was $250 a day, and I just duplicated that one winning ad originally, and I made a little variation. You could see the first method was changing the creative, then we changed the copy, and then we changed the audience. Now the fourth method is we could duplicate that campaign and change the campaign objective. So we could change it from an ad set budget optimization to a campaign budget optimization campaign. So the way we do that is we'd hit duplicate here, duplicate using original objective, and what's going to change here, as you can see, it's already on. Well, this is actually, it's already set as a campaign budget, but what we'll do instead is we'll turn this off, and that changes the bidding type. So this was going to take it from a campaign budget optimization, so a CBO campaign, to an ABO campaign. So we're just either deselecting this method or selecting this method. That's it. We're either going to turn this on or off. And then from there, this is using an ad set budget. So the budget is set at the ad set level. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into that ad set here. Sometimes this happens when you create a campaign where it gets all muddy. So I'm just going to refresh this. I'm going to open this, and this is going to be called horizontal scaling 4. And inside of this, there should be one ad set, and we're going to put this budget here at the ad set level to $50 a day. All right. So that is the fourth method. You could see here from that horizontal scaling, we took an original campaign, we duplicated it 4 times in 4 different ways by just changing one variable. The first one, we changed the creative. We uploaded a new video ad, right? So I'll actually show you that. You can see we uploaded a new video ad. The second version, what we did is we changed the ad copy. I changed 1 or 2 sentences in the copy, kept everything else the same. The third version is I changed the audience. I picked a different audience to target. And then the fourth version, I changed the bidding type. I took it from at the ad set level to, I took it from the campaign budget level to the ad set level. So those are 4 different ways to scale it. And once you know how to do these, you can scale ads so quickly because you could take one ad and scale it in multiple different directions, right? There's so many different variations that you can do, right? And that was me just picking one audience. You could duplicate that ad and test it to 5 different audiences. Like when I scaled one ad from $100 a day to $1,000 a day, all I did is I just picked 10 different audiences instead of 1, right? And you could do things where instead of testing one creative, you test 4 different types of creative. Sorry, I thought something fell on my pants. But that's all we're doing here, right? This is how you can scale ad accounts very quickly. So those are horizontal scaling methods. So once you've done that and you have an idea of the different scaling strategies, step number 3 is launching your new scaling campaigns. So now that you know how to scale your ads and how much you need to increase your daily budget, begin launching your vertical and horizontal campaigns to begin increasing your budget and scaling. So depending on what you want to do, maybe you want to start with vertical scaling, maybe you want to start with some initial horizontal scaling. You can determine that, see which ones you want to run, and then measure that test for 3 days. And if it's good, continue. And if it drops, just turn it off. That's all you have to do. So that's how you're going to launch and scale your campaigns. So again, going to the ad manager, let's say you're at $100 a day. You want to get to 250 a day because that's the goal here. Maybe what you do is you vertically scale your campaign from $100 a day to $150 a day. And then you test 2 different horizontal scaling strategies where maybe you test a different creative and a different copy at $50 a day. And that keeps you to 250 because we vertically scaled it by $50 and we have 2 horizontal scaling campaigns each at $50. So we've reached our target of $250 a day. That would be a hypothetical case of how you'd scale your campaigns. So hopefully this is making sense. If it's not, watch it a few times and implement it. It'll start becoming second nature as you scale more accounts. Then step number 4 is we review and plan your next move. So after you have scaled your budget and you've launched those new scaling campaigns, we're going to review the results. So outcome number 1 is the test succeeded. So if it worked and you've scaled your ad account and that test is still working and producing you results at your target KPIs, then you can continue either vertically scaling or horizontally scaling. So if you did, like I mentioned, if you vertically scaled that and that was your test and it's still producing, continue vertically scaling it if you want more leads and clients. If you horizontally scaled it and that test is still working, try a different horizontal test or increase the budgets on it. That's all we're doing. Outcome number 2 is if it's at KPI in the last day or close to KPI. So it's pretty close to KPI, but it's not there just yet. If it's at KPI in the last 1 to 2 days, but holistically it's not at KPI, let it run for at least 100 clicks and test for 2 to 3 more days until 100 link clicks have been there to get a baseline. If it's still not at KPI after you've tested it and it's gone at least 100 clicks, turn it off. Outcome number 3 is test failed. So you start scaling your campaigns and it breaks. It's outside of KPI and it didn't work. If that's the case, just turn off your campaign and run the next scaling test. And you're just going to be repeating the cycle over and over again. So the action item for you to focus on is begin scaling your campaigns that are within KPI using the instructions above. That's all we're going to do. Step number 1 is we're going to set our scaling targets and projections. We fill this out, fill in the ones in white, and they'll show you exactly what your daily spend needs to be and everything broken down so you have clear targets on how to scale. Then once you've set your projections, overview the scaling strategies. Use vertical scaling or horizontal scaling. Dive into this a couple times and really understand the different methods. Then once you know the methods, step number 3 is you're going to launch your new scaling campaigns, measure it for 3 days, and if it's good, then we're going to enter step number 4, which is reviewing our tests. So after we've launched our scaling tests for at least 3 days, we're going to review the results. Outcome number 1 is the test succeeded, and if it succeeded, amazing, we can continue scaling it either vertically or horizontally. Outcome number 2, if it's at KPI in the last day or close to KPI but not quite there, run it for another 1 to 2 days, and if it's then at KPI, continue scaling them. If it's not, turn it off. And outcome number 3, that scaling campaign you launched fails and flops, turn off the campaign and just run your next scaling test. And you're just going to continue that cycle until you can begin scaling it. And you can get as many damn clients and meetings as you want. So this stuff is really powerful. I can't wait for you to start actually diving into it and launching your scaling campaigns. This was one of my favorite parts, was scaling up my campaigns. It could be a little bit scary at times when you see your ad budget going up, but once you start seeing more revenue and more clients coming in, it's kind of addicting. So the action item is beginning scaling your campaigns within KPI using the instructions above. So go ahead and do that, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Congratulations, you made it to the end of the paid ads course. I hope you found that course helpful, and I truly believe you have everything you need in that course to get consistent clients using paid ads. Now, if you found this course helpful, you might enjoy the next free course that I created that shows you how to get SMMA clients using cold outreach. Because if you know how to use cold outreach to get clients on top of your paid ads, you're going to have more clients than you know what to do with, and you're going to make a lot of money. So that's going to pop up somewhere on the screen right now. Go click it and go check it out, and I'll see you there.